naman this season, maganda naging start ng UAAP Red Warriors. At sinabi nga sa ating assistant coach na si Ricky Alcantara that it was because of the fast pace and aggressive defense of the team. Gumana nga ang lineup change ni Coach Derek Kumare. At dahil dyan, ngayon nakikita na natin that they are finally playing the UAAP Red Warrior brand of basketball. Back to you, Miko and Bea.
You see, the only person you need to see to know kung maganda laro na UE is Mix Gomez.
Lagi nakangiti.
That's like a championship smile.
But I like what Mix said, talking about the UE brand of basketball finally showing out here in this game against the UP Fighting Maroons, banking on their full court defense, banking on them running the floor whenever they get off a rebound, off a miss. So hopefully they can stay consistent for the next 3 quarters.
Meantime, here's Juan Gomez de Leaño. Oh, somebody was caught in the no parking zone there. Ibra Watara. Forgetting about time spending under the basket.
UP a bit frustrated here with their half-court offense. They need to be able to stabilize their offense and look for the open man.
Okay, let's find out what's happening on the UP bench from Agatha Uvero.
Miko and Bea, narinig niyo naman siguro that Coach Bo is unhappy with the performance that his players exhibited in the first quarter because UP didn't match the same energy and hunger that UE showed in the beginning. So he's reminding the boys to have that sense of urgency and have some aggressiveness to work on their transition defense. And they need to separate the performance today from the last game in order to leave that burden behind and focus. Miko and Bea.
Thank you very much, Agatha. That's always the challenge for teams that are trying to bounce back. I mean, how hard is it when you're trying to forget about a disappointing loss and then you have to face like a new team?
Dapat mabilis mag-move on dito sa UAAP, Miko, dahil mabilis na yung mga games. After Wednesday, may game agad during the weekend. But then here, Ibrahim Watara, I like how UP has adjusted, seeing the mismatch of Ibrahim Watara. Wala siyang katapat na import. So they've been going to him down low. And so far, he's been able to go to the free throw line already twice in this game.
Cabato checking in for the University of the East, joining Chris Connor, where JC Collar is there. Jason Barilla is likewise on the floor. And a foul spotted here against Javi Gomez de Leaño.
His first 2 on the
He definitely has to be able to control the pace of the game if they want to inch closer with this speed. They've been allowing UE to just run the floor each time they get. They have to have transition defense as well once they run the floor.
Blocked by Watara. Jarelib sets up Desiderio. We are still in the early moments of the second period. Watara face up and he missed the back shot. Whoops, look out. Joe Manso with a steal. Manso, hang time. Jarelib, basket is good.
Good to see UP a little bit more aggressive here in the second quarter.
With that Mitsubishi great play, Jarelib will cut down that UE lead to 6.
As you can see, Coach Bopez and Parasol really putting in at least 2 point guards in the floor this whole game so that they can match the intensity of the UP Red Warriors, finally forcing a turnover for the UP Red Warriors and converting with that end one play.
Yeah, because kanina, UP kept on bungling their half-court sets with untimely turnovers, mainly caused by pressure defense by UE. Cabato trying to look for Maloles. Connor looking at Maloles. Goes one-on-one instead. Connor and passes it to assistant coach of UP, Ricky Dandan.
Maybe a little bit of rookie jitters there for Connor, trying to go one-on-one in that play and passing it to nobody.
Coach Ricky looks like he lost a lot of weight, huh? He looks really great. Meantime, we're about to hit the 7-minute mark of the second quarter. Jarelib, turn around. Can't get the roll. Rebound, Mark Malayon back in the ball game. 5-point lead for the Red Warriors. Abanto. That ball ends up with Olayon. Shot clock down to 10. Maloles for 3. Yes, sir! Vivo, perfect shot for Mark Maloles, and he's in double figures with 10 points.
That's right, the second three-point shot for Mark Maloles. Really the game changer so far in this game with still 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. And efficient shooting so far for UE from the three-point range with 4 of 8 already for a 50% clip, considering they were actually last place last year in terms of three-point field goal percentage.
We have a foul spotted here against Ray Acuño as we check out our book freeze. It's a replay. Ibra Watara, you expect so much from him because of his height advantage against sila Derrique, against Bartolome, all these guys. He's taller, he has a longer wingspan.
That's right, Miko. A subpar performance so far in the past 2 games of Ibrahim Watara. So it's definitely his time to shine in this game.
So far, you 7 points, 5 rebounds. Yeah, that's good so far.
Yes, definitely. Last game, he only had 2 points. So already outperforming in the last game that he had.
Meantime, Nick Abanto, shot clock down to 10. Olayon against Javi Gomez de Leaño. Mark Olayon, what will he do? Shot clock winding down. Oh, good pass. It's a good pass for Acuño.
Sorry, miss there for Acuño with the short mid-range jumper.
So we are nearing the halfway mark of the second quarter. Floater is good for June Manso. Gising Yakisobra move.
Nice high looping floater there by June Manzo from the pick and roll.
Meantime, here's Cullar against Desiderio. Cullar spins to Abanto. Abanto fires off the mark. Rebound for Watara. 6 rebounds so far for UP's big man.
UP really feeling the presence of Watara in this game with no import for the UE Red Warriors. So pagpatuloy lang niya yung ginagawa niya dahil it's really paying dividends for UP now down by 5 only.
Is by Maloles. Manso, Watara, Javi Gomez de Leaño, Desiderio, and Juan Gomez de Leaño are all on the floor for UP. Down by 5. Another runner, Manso. And this time a rebound for Nick Abanto. Manso, by the way, with 8 points so far in this game. Cullar. Back clock reads 11. Meantime, Maloles inside. Maloles! No. Both teams exchanging misses, but Javi Gomez de Leaño will not miss. That's his first point. First points of the ball game, that Milo Nutria drive. And he cuts down that UE lead to 3. We'll be back in a moment.
Crush the board! Crush! Offensive rebound! Oo. Ulan tayo sa offensive rebound. Nag-rebound. Ikaw, 4 ka, nasa kanto ka. Lumabang ka sa rebound. Hindi. Nandito ko. Pwede kayo dito. Hindi. Ano ba?
Sabi sa inyo, sa manong ball skill defense, Paul, kailangan natin mag-twist para may iba naman.
Okay, coach.
Ikaw yung 4. Di ba? So sa'yo yung pin. Kung ikaw gagamit sa twist up. Okay? Aalis ka rito, Paul, magpapalit. Javi! Twist up to! Magpapalit kayo ni Javi.
Okay, coach.
Mapupunta ang weak side. Tapos andyan na yan, di ba? Tapos, dive. Sunday. Para maiba. Now, pag nag-zona yan, 3 down yun.
Okay.
Ikaw yun nasa high post.
Okay, let's go, boys.
When you set a pick and roll, roll right away.
Let's take a look at the Maroons in the middle, Ibra Watara and Gerson Prado.
Miko Ibrahim Watara here proving that he can definitely bounce back from that subpar game that he had against the Ateneo Blue Eagles. Already today with 7 points and 6 rebounds. So they've definitely been finding him a lot down in the paint, given that he has a mismatch against the much smaller front line of the UP Red Warriors.
And we'll be back with more action. This is the UAAP live on SNA. Isa Molde of the UP women's volleyball team. Checking out the action and of course supporting the UP Fighting Maroons in today's game. Arong Derek Pumaran, the Red Warriors determined to get their first victory in season 80.
Miko, a 10-3 run in the past 4 minutes for the UP Fighting Maroons, cutting their lead down to 3, which was as big as 14 points already a while ago.
Marco Layon.
And looking here at the rebounds, 10 rebounds for UP and only 5 for UE. Credit that to Ibrahim Watara, who already has 7 rebounds here in this game.
Meantime, here's Javi Gomez de Leaño to Manso. Fighting Maroons down by just 3 points. Manso on the move. And there's Watara again.
And another rebound for him. A sorry miss there, but you like the aggressiveness that he's showing in this game.
Oh, nice block by Watara.
Talking about aggressiveness, after that rebound, another block for Ibrahim Watara, really making his presence felt in the paint.
Offensive ball number 12, Shannon Gagate is first.
Got a foul on Sean Gagate.
The pace of the game for the UE Red Warriors has dipped a bit here in the second quarter. We all know in the first quarter, they had a strong start, leading as much as 14 points. They haven't really been able to execute their full court press since they haven't been getting those shots down for the UE.
Juan Gomez de Leaño, shot clock down to 10 to big brother Javi. And Javi Gomez de Leaño knocks down the 3. And he will have a 4-point play opportunity. That's an RCBC Savings Bank. Nakakabilib play.
Ball number 6.
Great half-court execution there for the UP Fighting Maroons from brother to brother. Juan Gomez de Leaño finding Javi open there in the corner. And he's very efficient when he's shooting there from the corner. The 3-point shot of Javi.
And a foul coming from Marco Layon. So 4-point play opportunity for Javi Gomez de Leaño. And he completes it. And thanks to him, the UP Fighting Maroons are on top, 34-33.
And I think Miko credit this to UP slowing down the pace of the game. If they execute in their half court, they have an advantage given that they're a lot taller than the UE Fighting Maroons. But a great spin move there by Philip Manalang. A foul though called.
Yep, there's a foul here on the Fighting Maroons.
Pushing ball number 11, Ibrahim
It's against Watara.
His first 3 on UP.
Trying to close out on the smaller Philip Manalang. These are McFree's instant replay. UE has made only
To push when he got the shot off by Ibrahim Watara.
What would you normally tell Watara when you see a play like that?
Dapat hands up lang, wag siyang
Go up straight.
just go up straight.
So you can, so now you're analyzing. You can probably coach too. I'm pretty confident of that. UE only one field goal made in the last 6 minutes. That's why we're all tied up at 34. And Philip Manalang misses the free throw. Rebound for Desiderio. Desiderio. With the drive off the glass. Milo Nudriab, the late move for Paul Desiderio.
So, Miko, I really like how Paul Desiderio has been very aggressive on the offensive end, not settling for those outside shots so far.
What? Frank Derigue also aggressive in his outside shot. He hits a three, and the lead is back with UE, 37-36. Watara, double team, outside, Manso. Manso loses the ball. Derigue fighting for it. Manso fighting for it.
The ball possession arrow in favor of the UE
We like the aggressiveness of both teams so far in this game. As we mentioned about it, winnable game for either team.
Anolive, 110% heart and hustle player. So you could choose. It could be Manso, it could be Derigue. They're both exhibiting a lot of heart, a lot of hustle. Derigue, by the way, double figures with 10 points. He's perfect from the field so far.
Very efficient, just like in his last game where he scored 22 points versus the FEU Tamaraos. His power forward, a stretch four, can shoot from beyond the arc and also drive it hard to the basket.
Meantime, good box out by Jason Barilla. Here's Derigue. Derigue hasn't missed so far. That's his first miss of the game. And Derigue, he really likes to battle for those loose balls. This will be a foul against Ibra Watara with that smile of disbelief. Second personal against Watara.
Ibrahim Watara should watch his fouls in this game. We've been mentioning how important he is on the floor. He's not just the biggest player in the floor. He also provides that presence in the paint for the UP Fighting Maroons.
Jason Barilla for three. Rebound for Desiderio. 4 rebounds today for Paul Desiderio.
2 minutes.
Under 2 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Juan Gomez de Leaño on the move. Loses the ball. Saved by Javi to the wrong guy. Actually, Javi Gomez de Leaño running out of space. Turnover against UP.
A wild pass there by Juan Gomez de Leaño.
Philip Manalang, Sean Cagate, Jason Barilla, Clark Derigue, Manalang trying to sneak inside. And Mark Maloles will complete the unit for UE.
We haven't seen much action, Miko, from Alvin Pasaol. Only 1 minute left to go in the second quarter. However, he has only played 4 minutes here for the UE Red Warriors.
He did not even start for UE in this
Exactly.
game. Maloles hounded by that UP defense. Manso. Desiderio, he's wide open, but he missed it. And ball tapped over to Manso. And UP will have 11 seconds to work with. They're down by 1 point. Manso. To Desiderio. Desiderio with the spin. A nice move, but not yet a nice finish.
Small ball here for the UP Fighting Maroons with Noah Webb at the 5.
And Manalang recognizing that and immediately going inside with a chippy twister's move.
Nice getaway move there by Philip Manalang, going to his strong side for the layup.
Actually, both teams playing without a center.
Manalang already with 5 points and 4 assists, and a good indication here for the UE Red Warriors. I was mentioning before the game that he really has to impose himself more offensively.
Derigue with a rebound. Here comes Manalang. Manalang attacking again. Manalang emergency pass. Turnover. Desiderio to Manso, but Derigue gets in the way. 22 seconds remaining in the first half. And turnover against UE.
Fighting Maroons.
Which in a sense is not surprising. Sobrang bilis yung dalawang team. You know, they tend to be careless with the basketball. We have a timeout. We'll be back in a moment.
Abi, dito ka Juan. Okay? One pace. Okay, go. Dito sa taas yung bag, ano? Sa taas? Okay. So, nandito magiging tao niyan. So, magpe-face guard yan. So, sabay, ha? Sabay.
At sa mo niya open tayo, bibigay. Intindi mo yung sarili. Oh, shit. Hey, 22 seconds.
Kaya
Right
dito
to
kayo,
last
ha?
shot. Ito na, hey, gusto nang lado. Okay. There go man pa rin. 13 tayo sa ball skill. Naintindihan, 13 ball skill. Okay? Ikot tayo. Kailangan mag-switch tayo. Kunin mo na si ano? Si Desiderio. Okay? Kunin mo si ano? Lapitan mo yun, yung 6 na bitira sa labas. Okay? Move your feet. For your penalty. You don't have to foul. You don't have to foul. Takwa natin. Kunin na kagad ng kilos. Sa drive. Tumulong ka nung kay ano, help tayo. Naintindihan natin. Now listen. Wala tayong double sa post, okay? Everything we switch. Okay, everything. Tatry mo yung disengage mo na. Let's go! Come on, take it!
Coach Derek Comarin and the UE Red Warriors, they watched their lead disappear. They were up by as many as 14 points. UP came fighting back, and that's why we have a close game towards the end of the first half. Manso starts to play to Juan Gomez de Liaño. UP can write the last sentence of the second chapter. Good pass, having to Juan. And Juan completes the reverse. That's a Haynes cool play for Juan Gomez de Liaño. 8 seconds remaining before the end of the first half. Philip Manalang. What will he do? Over to Derrigue. Derrigue for 3. Yes, sir!
A nice three-point shot there to end the second quarter for the UE Red Warriors, with them having their lead cut to 4 only. But then for the UP Maroons, on the other hand, great way to finish the first half strong. In the first quarter, they started really slow, scoring only 18 points as compared to the 27 of UE. We see a very fast-paced game here in the second quarter.
Great taste, great 3 by Clark Derrigue, who now has 13 points, 5 out of 6 from the field. Perfect from Rainbow Country. That's a big reason why UE is ahead, 42-38. Our UAAP insider, Gaynel Christian, is with the UE coaching staff. UE coaching staff, yes, Gaynel.
Yes, that is right, Miko and Bea. So, Coach, how do you plan to shut down or limit the perimeter scorers of UP?
Doon sa last practice namin, as we said ni Coach Derek, kailangan wag kami malilate doon sa mga shooter nila. Kailangan extend out talaga kami and don't be late doon sa mga shooter nila.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much and good luck in your game. Back to you, Miko and Bea.
Thank you, Gaynel. The UE Red Warriors are on top, 42-38. Our Insular Life 1 in a million performance coming from Clark Derrigue.
Clark Derrigue very efficient from the field in today's game. 13 points, 5 of 6 from the field, and 3 of 3 from beyond the arc. Really proving to be that another offensive option that UE has been looking for, aside, of course, from Alvin Pasaon, who hasn't exactly been given a lot of minutes yet in today's game.
Nevertheless, UE in control, 42-38 as we enter the halftime break. We'll be back with more. This is the UAAP on SNA. inside the Big Dome, and currently the UE Red Warriors are ahead 42-38 over the UP Fighting Maroons. Let's scan the crowd and look for our PS Bankable fan of the game, brought to you by PS Bank Mobile. Sa PS Bank Mobile, one touch lang, logged in na. She's very happy. I think, kasi siguro dami niya yan UE. Tontuwa siya because nag-umamag pa ng 14 points yung UE kanina. And that young lady is our PS Bankable fan of the game, brought to you by PS Bank Mobile. Sa PS Bank Mobile, one touch lang, logged in na. Our Ambiton most improved player, also coming from the University of the East, it is Mark Maloles, finishing with 10 points in the first half. Actually had 7 points in that opening quarter, really contributing to the strong start for UE in this game. Mark Maloles, key player. Definitely.
That's right, Miko. Mark Maloles with already 10 points. He's been very crucial in running the floor whenever they force a turnover for the UP Fighting Maroons. But aside from that, he's already scored 2 3-point shots. So that's a good indicator here for the UE Red Warriors. A lot of other options are rising for their team to carry the offensive load for the UE Red Warriors.
Again, we look around this Sunday crowd and we looking for our Dunkin' Donuts smile. Aba! He is very happy with his box of donuts. Look at that smile. That is a young man who knows what to do with that box. I know exactly what he plans to do with that box. That's a double smile. And checking our Gatorade Fierce player matchup. Battle of Bigs to it, or Gatorade.
The forwards.
Actually, battle of scorers.
That's right, for the UP Fighting Maroons, Paul Desiderio with 7 points already. However, Alvin Pasaol already scoring 7 points despite only 4 minutes of play. So very accurate from the field. Hopefully we'll see him more action from him in the second half. But here for Paul Desiderio, I like how he's opting to drive it hard to the basket. I know he's more efficient and accurate when he drives hard compared to his outside shooting. It has improved a bit from last season, but not exactly as high of a percentage as we expect.
Definitely two of the most confident gunners that we have in the league. Again, UE on top, 42-38 over UP. We'll be back with more action. This is the UAAP on SNA. We're back inside the Big Dome. Miko Halili with Bea Daes also joining us. Agatha Uvero of UP, Nix Gomez of UE, and our insider today is Geniel Christian. Your Red Warriors are on top by 4, 42-38. They led by as many as 14 points thanks to their relentless pressure defense. UP came fighting back, but in the end, trying to regain the Red Warriors gained that lead towards the end of the first half. What did UE do so well, Bea, in that first half to really allow them to lead by as many as 14?
I think credit that to the full court defense that they implemented in the whole of that first quarter. In their last game against the FEU, tama Raus, I was mentioning na medyo hilaw yung full court defense nila.
Meaning hindi nila ma-execute ng tama.
That's right. But here, in the first half, they were able to force turnovers from UP. And whenever they get the rebound, whenever they get the ball off a miss from UP, no question they would push the ball. Lots of forward passes, less dribbling for the UE Red Warriors, which has converted to a lot of points for them. And unsung heroes emerging from the UE Red Warriors side, we have Mark Maloles with already 10 points. And at the same time, Philip Manalang being more aggressive in the offensive end, not just doing playmaking skills, but scoring as well with 5 points already and 2 assists to match that.
Looking at the numbers, you're looking at these numbers, Bea. What stands out for you?
Here, definitely the 3-point field goals of the UE Red Warriors in the past 2 games. They've combined with only 5 3-point field goals, so they've already surpassed the 3-point field goals that they've made in the past 2 games. At the same time, here we see the starter points for the UE Red Warriors. So a good change of the game plan here for Coach Derek Pumaran. He put in Mark Maloles and Clark Derigue as well as Mark Olayon in the first 5, and so far it has paid dividends for the UE Red Warriors. And as you can see, high turnovers for both teams, given that they both love to run the floor. When you have a high, fast-paced game, it's
a risk that the teams might commit a lot of turnovers. You mentioned Mark Maloles and Clark Derigue, both starters for Coach Derek Pumaran.
A surprise here for the UP Fighting Maroons is Ibrahim Watara. We all know that he hasn't been exactly imposing his will in the paint so far in the past 2 games, but here already with 7 points and 8 rebounds already. Scorers like June Manzo and Paul Desideri will already expect them to carry the offensive load for the UP Fighting Maroons.
UAAP insider Geniel Christian joins us now. Geniel?
How will your team handle the relentless ball pressure of UE?
We prepared for that. We addressed that. We're going to try to anticipate what they're going to do for the second half. I felt that we lost the composure a bit. That's why we have a lot of lapses and overs on the floor.
Alright, so good luck on your game. And back to you, Miko and Bea.
Well, thank you, Geniel. Well, understandably, hindi masaya si Coach Ricky, because they're down by 4. They were down by as many as 14, and the Fighting Maroons looking for ways to regain control of this game. Something we also saw in that first half, Bea. Madalas it's a small ball lineup. Si Coach Bo Perasol, you have one big, basically four shooting guards or 4 guards on the floor. Why were they doing that constantly in the first 2 quarters?
I think, of course, for Ibrahim Watara, he's the biggest man on the floor, so they need him to control the paint. But for the 4 small guys, they need to be able to match the fast-paced running of the UE Red Warriors. And so far, they've been able to slow down the game in the second quarter.
Yeah, speaking of running, we covered the LaSalle NU game yesterday, kami ni Coach Ronnie Bagsano, and I'll be very honest, kami hinihingal pa rin ito. It was a tiring game to cover. Fun game, but nonetheless, the UE Red Warriors picking up from where they left off, and that C2 cool and clean fast break, and it's back to a 6-point lead. Mark Maloles, 12 points in the game.
Forcing another turnover there. Talking about Gan, sabi nga niya, sa question question kay Coach Ricky Dandan talking about the relentless on-ball defense that UE has. But a nice turnaround jumper there for Paul Desiderio.
That's a chippy twister's move for Paul Desiderio. He has 9 points in the ball game. On the floor for UE, Maloles, Bartolome. Maloles scores again. Maloles now with 14 points. That's a Milo Nutrium drive for Maloles. He's also joined by Marco Layon, Philip Manalang, and Clark Derrigue.
A breakout game here for Mark Maloles. Very aggressive on the offensive end.
Meantime, Desiderio against Manalang. Desiderio, step back. It's good. That's a three.
Great three there by Paul Desiderio, creating some space with that step back three-pointer. We know that he can hit that shot. He has definitely improved in the off-season with his mid-range and outside-range jumpers.
Meantime, here's Derrigue to Manalang. Manalang sidestep. Javi Gomez de Leaño on the move. All the way, he is fouled.
And Miko, this is what we were talking about. The small ball of the UP Fighting Maroons. Javi Gomez de Leaño at the 4. He has the ability to initiate the fast break, just as what he did once he was able to steal that ball. He went all the way to fish that foul in that layup.
And he will have 2 free throws as we check on UP, care of Agatha Uvero.
Miko and Bea, UP has a tendency to start off slow but pick up after halftime. So Coach Bo wants them to remain aggressive but to build up from there. He also said that now that they're within striking distance, they need to build up and actually to build up that momentum and hopefully pull away in the fourth quarter. Back to you, Miko and Bea.
Thank you, Agatha, reporting from the UP bench. Look at UP, down by just 1 point. Bartolome looking for Manala. Goes to Maloles. Maloles has been red hot. The shot goes in and out. Desiderio, rebound. He's pushing the ball. He's going all the way for 2. Nisin Yakisoba Yakisora move for Paul Desiderio.
Nice coast-to-coast play there by Paul Desiderio, going all the way his strong hand to the right side for that end-one basket. They're now up by 1 point.
And Desiderio will miss the bonus free throw.
You see, Miko, they're definitely more aggressive on the defensive end, paying dividends so far for the UP Fighting Maroons.
Maloles. UP on top by 1. Derrigue for 3. Rebound, Mark Olayon. Maloles against Manso. Shot clock down to 8. Bartolome. That ball ends up with Juan Gomez de Leaño, but he lost it. And Maloles gets away.
Mark Maloles, really relentless on the defensive end. Once he gets that ball and forces a turnover, he really goes all the way for that fast break shot.
16 points for Maloles. But that's another 3 for Paul Desiderio. Desiderio all of a sudden with 17 points.
Paul Desiderio heating up and showing some range from the three-point arc. That's already his second 3 in the game.
Meantime, Maloles pulls up a rebound for Juan Gomez de Leaño. 2-point lead for the Fighting Maroons as we go to Mix Gomez on the UE bench.
Miko and Bea, after a very good first quarter by the UE Red Warriors, nakahawin na agad ang UP Fighting Maroons. Pagsabihan natin ang assistant coach ng UE na si Rico Jongko at sinabi niya sa atin that nagkulang nga sila sa health defense. Sa dugout din, niremind ni Coach Derek Kumari na kailangan mas gutom ang UE Red Warriors dahil nga they are gunning for their first win of the season. Back to you, Miko and Bea.
Thank you, Mix. Paul Desiderio, man of the moment. UP on top. And we'll be back after these. course, UP fans remember him, the Jet Manuel. Here's our McFreeze instant replay. Paul Desiderio is sizzling here in the third period. He has scored 13 of his 20 points in the third quarter, and he has pushed UP ahead 53-48.
That's right, they've definitely given UP a dose of their own medicine, pushing the ball every chance that they get, every missed shot by the UP Red Warriors. They push the ball all the time.
And there's a loose ball foul here against Bartolome. And it's something our viewers are seeing. Kanina, it was Javi Gomez-Delian. He got the rebound, push kagad the bola. Paul Desiderio doing the same thing. He gets the rebound and again push kagad, leading to an N1. And that seems to be the modus operandi of UP here in the second half.
Yeah, UP showing that they can also push the pace of the game and showing that they can outrun UE as well.
Meantime, Paul Desiderio, man of the moment. He wants some space. He fires away. And not that time. That's fine. You're granted the heat check if you already have 20 points. Meantime, Derrigue against Desiderio. Derrigue, height advantage. Can't get the bounce. Another rebound for Watara.
Paul Desiderio really showing his leadership here for the UP Fighting Maroons, carrying the offensive load with 13 points already.
Yeah, in this third quarter alone. Meantime, Manso, tough shot. Watara, rebound, putback is good. Yamaha big move for the UP big man.
As we were talking about Ibrahim Watara earlier, Miko making his presence felt in the paint. 2 rebounds there off a miss and then an offensive rebound to get the shot up once again.
And there's Watara allowing Desiderio to pick up the rebound. Manso to Javi Gomez-Deliano. Boy, this unit really clicking well for UP. And Javi Gomez-Deliano will take 2 free throws.
You see a lot more confidence in Ibrahim Watara. You see how he was asking for the ball there down low in the paint and then allowing Javi Gomez-Deliano for the cut and that foul.
At that time, he got the rebound. He went up for the putback. UP on top, 55-48. We'll be back in a moment.
Ang key dito is the defense. You're switching, but you cannot get yung tira na yun na challenge mo, na tinira mo pa, alam mo maloles yun. Yung tao mo, ha? Taasan mo na ng kamay, saan siya tumitira? Oh, hayaan mo na mag-drive. Taas mo sa kamay, ha? Taasan mo ng kamay. Hey, watch out for those dives. Don't push, okay? Because we don't want to be in a position you'll be a third foul. Alright? Now, lahat kayo laban muna sa rebound. Switching points.
Asa lang, nasa utos na lang yan.
Again, yung kanilang point of attack, ikot-ikot lang and go for penetration. You have to vertical for that. Okay? And if there is Manalang there, then he's going to be the one who's going to create. Okay? Ang importante is if you have the chance, go for the break if you have it. And if none, okay, then set it up.
Makinig kayo. They will all be focused on ball. We go down. We will not help on ball.
Taasan mo na ng kamay, saan siya tumitira? Oh, hayaan mo na mag-drive. Taas mo sa kamay, ha? Taas mo ng kamay. Hey, watch out for those dives. Don't push, okay? Because we don't want to be in a position you'll be a third foul. Alright? Now, lahat kayo laban muna sa rebound. Switching points.
Asa lang, nasa utos na lang yan.
Again, yung kanilang point of attack, ikot-ikot lang and go for penetration.
We just heard from UP coach Bob Mirasol, video coaches winning ways.
There he mentioned Ibrahim Watara to watch his fouls. They don't want him to get that third foul. They see his importance in the game, manning the middle for the UP Fighting Maroons and disrupting as well the shots of the UP Red Warriors.
Shot clock down to 7.
And as I mentioned, Ibrahim Watara there disrupting the shot of Bartolome.
Meantime, good pass by Watara. Javi Gomez de Leaño could not finish. Alvin Pasaol back in the ball game. Missed by JC Cullar and a rebound from Paul Desiderio.
A shot too early in the shot clock for the UE Red Warriors for Cullar right there.
Meantime, here's Manso. Manso still has the ball. Manso pulling up. That's good. That's a great breakdown move.
That's right.
Sabi ko sa'yo, J.J. Hilton. Jude Manso. 10-point lead for UP. Pasaol for 3. Rebound, Watara.
You gotta love the patience of June Manzo. On paper, he's a rookie, but he definitely isn't one for the UP Fighting Maroons. He's a transfer actually from University of Visayas. He played 2 years there, spent his residency for 1 year. Kaya naman parang veterano talaga si June Manzo.
And there it is for UP, the Fast and the Furious. Manso to Desiderio. Manso with a PS Bankable assist. Send and receive payments ahora mismo with PS Bank Mobile. It is 61-48 for the Fighting Maroons. Watch the Diliman chapter of the Fast and the Furious. Manso to Desiderio. Why is Desiderio so furious right now? Look at that. 16 points in the third quarter alone.
That's right. Paul Desiderio really assuming the lead role here for the UP Fighting Maroons.
A miss by Pasaol. What is UP doing so well now, Abea? That's why they're on top 61-48.
I think they're able to control the pace of the game, but here you see a steal.
But a miss. Another rebound for Desiderio quickly to Juan Gomez de Leaño.
And as I was saying, Miko, they're controlling the pace of the game. So they've limited their turnovers to only 2 in this quarter, and they've executed a lot better in the offensive end in their half-court offense. And of course, credit as well to the great shooting of Paul Desiderio. He's hit 3 out of 5 3-pointers already here in the third quarter.
So we're approaching the last 2 minutes of the third period. Desiderio fakes, he fires, not that time. And there was a foul spotted under the basket by referee Medillo. The foul is against Acuño. There's that foul by Acuño against Ibra Watara.
You see the problem of the Red Warriors since they don't have any import and Ibrahim Watara a lot more aggressive both in the offensive and defensive end, making his presence felt in the paint, getting that rebound and that foul.
Moperasol will give Paul Desiderio a breather, and Desiderio deservedly so, getting a big hand from the UP crowd.
Definitely, almost single-handedly brought back this big lead for the UP Fighting Maroons, up 13. When we entered the half, they were down 4.
We're seeing Mr. Rod Roque and Ms. Carmelita Mateo of the University of the East. Very concerned right now because their team is now trailing here 61-48 as we near the end of the third period.
We haven't really seen that full court press with the UE Red Warriors. Credit also to them not...
Meantime, a rebound for Juan Gomez de Liaño. So the Gomez de Liaño brothers are on the floor with Watara, Manso, and now Jared Lim, who took the place of Paul Desiderio.
UE actually has only scored 6 points here, so because of this not being able to make baskets, they haven't been able to set up that full court defense, as I was saying.
Under 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter, and a dribbling violation against Chris Connor.
Chris Connor, a rookie from Guam. We like his length and his size already, so bright future here for the UE Red Warriors and Chris Connor.
Connor was hounded there by Manso. Checking out our McFreeze, it's a replay leading to a dribbling violation there by Connor. Back to live action. Juan Gomez de Liaño to big brother Javi. Back to Juan. 4-3. No go.
A good shot there, nevertheless, by Juan. A free three-point shot, just couldn't make it.
Connor. Arbenyon, number 4, to Pasaol. Back to Connor. Shot clock down to 7. Top shot. Basket won't count. He was caught dancing to the wrong song, and the ball will go back to UP. So Kyle Slau checks in for June Manso. Jared Lim assumes the point guard spot, being hounded by Armenyon. 1 minute remaining in the third quarter. Jared Lim still has the ball. Nice swipe by Armenyon. The ball saved by Juan Gomez de Liaño. Shot clock winding down. Layup won't work. Watara gets the rebound and he is fouled.
Once again, Ibrahim Watara always there to get the rebound off the miss by his teammates, really making his presence felt. It's already his 15th rebound of the game.
That's why talagang reminder sa kanya ni Coach Po. Take care of your fouls because you're playing well. We need you on the floor. You're such a big advantage. Don't get into foul trouble.
That's right, and this is really the game wherein he can get his confidence and
get a lot of rebounds.
That's right, and hopefully be more consistent in the upcoming games of the UP Maroons.
Yeah, because we'll tell our viewers why. It is vital that one, that UP wins this. Two, that young man gets a lot of confidence with a lot of numbers. The coming games, next game, LaSalle. After that, FEU. After that, Adamson. And then after that, NU.
Napakatindi nga talaga, kaya naman, let's see if they're able to get this win today.
That's a block by Watara, but there's a whistle blown. There was contact underneath.
On number 6, Javi Gomez de Liaño.
It's against Javi Gomez de Liaño. Watara will sit down. Gerson Prado is back. Noah Webb also coming back, replacing Javi Gomez de Liaño. Meantime, 2 shots for Alvin Pasaol. Was that an interesting game? Did not start. Tapos yung minutes niya in the first half, not a lot of minutes. But of course, he maximized that. No? Marami din siya tinira. No? He had 8 attempts in the first half. Meantime, whoops, forward pass. Kyle Slau.
He's strong.
Saves it to the wrong man. Alvin Pasaol on the move. And he is fouled.
And speaking about what you said, Miko, in that 4 minutes of action, he scored 7 points, but he also had 8 goal attempts. So he has to be able to be smart smart about about the kinds of shots that he makes. Get a higher percentage shot with that, driving hard to the basket, and not always settling for that outside shot.
Well, certainly in that last sequence, he did not settle for the outside shot, certainly taking it strong and inviting the contact. Alvin Pasaol, one of the veterans on this team. The rebound ends up with Noah Webb, quickly to Kyle Slau. 62-49 in favor of the Fighting Maroons. With 24 seconds remaining before the end of the third quarter. Jaro Lim for three. Andre Armeñon over to Chris Connor. Armeñon left open. The rebound for Prado.
UE really struggling offensively here in the third quarter, as contributing to the big lead of the UP Fighting Maroons.
Prado beats the buzzer with 2 seconds left, and that's how we'll end the third period. Jerson Prado with a Milo Nutrient Galing move, giving UP a 15-point lead, 64-49, as we end the first three quarters. We'll be back with more action. This is the UAAP on SNA. We're about to start the fourth and final quarter between the UP Fighting Maroons and the UE Red Warriors. UP looking for win number 2, hoping to bounce back from that loss to Ateneo. UE hoping to score their first win of the tournament after losing their first 2 games.
The story of the game so far has been that big third quarter by the UP Fighting Maroons, scoring 26 points as compared to the only 7 of the UE Red Warriors. And those 6 points of the 7 were from Mark Maloles, all coming off from turnover points. So UP really finally getting their rhythm.
Here's Jerson Prado, and he is fouled. Of course, it's the third quarter. Paul Desiderio was huge.
He had 16 points there.
Points in the third. Checking out our McFreeze instant replay, Noah Webb with Jerson Prado. And then there's the foul on that move. Foul call downstairs, however. Meantime, here's Desiderio back in the game. 6 to shoot. Desiderio outside. Kyle Slau. Let's check on the UE Red Warriors. Mix Gomez has the latest. Mix.
Nico and Bea, Coach Derek Kumarin was very upset in the third quarter dahil nga game plan pa lang nila. Alam na nila sila June Manzo and Paul Desiderio ang gagawa ng mga plays para sa UP. Defensively, he is searching for the pride of his players, and then offensively, sinasabi niya, hindi sila pwede maging stagnant. They're gonna have to move the ball around and create a lot of good shots through penetration. Back to Nico and Bea.
And I think the problem of Miko, they have a hard time executing on their offensive plays. I think a lot of their points come from transition baskets, from fast break points. So if they want to get back into this game, they have to make sure that they're able to make those. They're able to do well in their full court press against the unified players.
Meantime, Paul Desiderio, he's still hot. He now has 26 points. It is now 68-51 for UP. Pasaol, he wants to answer back. Drop pass for Jeremy Cruz. And that is going to be a turnover.
I know Paul Desiderio really worked on his outside shooting during the off-season, and right now it's really paying off. He's already scored 5 3-point field goals already.
And he's not going to stop. I mean, knowing him, he's not going to stop shooting.
Given the green light to shoot by Coach Bo Perasol, definitely.
Jared Lim, shot clock reads 11. Back to Desiderio. Desiderio, advantage over Jeremy Cruz. Ooh, air ball. Let's get the latest from the UP bench, courtesy of Agatha Overo. Agatha?
Miko and Bea, kung ano man yung pinag-usapan sa halftime, it looks like it's working and the crowd is also picking up on the energy that the team is giving this quarter. You can hear louder cheers and more people are standing up at the edge of their seats. Of course, discipline is what they want in this quarter and they want to maintain this momentum in order to have a good end game. Bea, you mentioned that UP needs a convincing win today and Coach Bo agrees, saying we need to work on our positioning in the standings. Back to you, Miko and Bea.
You know, Agatha, you're so correct. This is really UP's mission today. Score a convincing win, especially with their upcoming games. They understand they need incredible confidence to get into that, really difficult stretch of games.
And I like how they're slowing the pace of the game and trying to execute well offensively, and so far that's exactly what they've been able to do. Getting all the players involved, we see Gerson Prado as well being able to score.
A rebound for Noah Webb. And UP right now in complete control of the game. Desiderio. Back to Jared Lim. Shot clock down to 10. Back to Desiderio. Shot clock down to 8. Desiderio over to Kyle Lau for 2.
Kyle really has mastered the perimeter shot.
He likes that you parang fall away mid-range. Nisin Yakisobra move for Kyle Lau. 7 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. The Red Warriors try to go inside, but they throw the ball away. So Jared Lim slowing things down. The score is on their side. The time is on their side. Paul Desiderio against Andre Armenion. Good pass to Gerson Prado. Back outside. Noah Way with a high looper. A rebound for Jeremy Cruz. And there's a push. Could go against, maybe against Prado.
Pushing ball number 20.
Nice find there by Paul Desiderio to Gerson Prado. He could have just taken that shot instead of passing the ball out to Noah Webb in that sequence.
There's that shot by Noah Webb, and then there's Gerson Prado with a push against Clark Garrigue. So we have a timeout. UP on top, 72-53. We'll be back in a moment. The UP section of the Big Dome very, very happy. You can see Isa Molde of the UP Women's Volleyball team.
And Nina
O, si Nina
Alvia.
pala yun sa likod. Mami Jo of ABS-CBN. She's also very happy. Kasi yung team na maroon really in control of this game.
You're really struggling offensively, especially at that half-court offense, not really able to execute.
Meantime, here's Gerson Prado. Kyle Slao, top of the key. And that ball ends up with Pasaol. The Red Warriors have 6 minutes to try and get back in this game. What do you do if you're UE, Bea?
I think they have to take it one possession at a time, get good defense, and then push the ball whenever they can. As I mentioned a while ago, they're not exactly the best team to execute at the half-court offense. So what do? Push on that gas pedal, run the floor each time they get.
However, they also need to stop those inside attacks by UP. Gerson Prado connects with the Mitsubishi great play. The foul will go against Clark Derrigue, his third personal. That will be the 13th foul against the Red Warriors.
Here, Gerson Prado imposing his will down low for the UE Fighting Maroons. It's an issue for them. It's not Watara, it's not an import, but they should be able to contain Gerson Prado in the paint.
Philip Manalang with Derrigue, Maloles, Olayon, and Abanto. Olayon, good spin. Could not get the finish.
You see here the turnovers of the UE Red Warriors at 4 compared to none for the UP Fighting Maroons.
Well, UP committed just one. Their first turnover of the quarter.
But UP really in control of the pace and intensity of this game, slowing it down a lot and working it to their advantage.
Speaking of intensity, Man Alive 110% heart and hustle player is a lot of guys on that play battling for the loose ball. And there's a tap out here by Mark Maloles.
Jason Barilla for Mark Manoles.
Maloles had a great first half for the Red Warriors.
But Maloles really thrive from their full court defense once he's able to get that steal and go all the way for that fast break shot. However, because they haven't really been able to do well offensively, they haven't as well been able to implement their full court defense, except for that transition, Philip Manalang getting the steal.
And Manalang will take 2. As Bea pointed out, yung oxygen kasi ng UE is running. If they're not running, medyo hirap sila humingi. That is the oxygen to their system. And the players that they have are certainly built for the running game. Maloles, Connor, Varilla, even Pasol. Pasol is a guy who thrives in open court situations. He likes pulling up in transition.
Exactly, he can initiate the fast break once he gets that rebound, tuloy-tuloy na yan. But here in the fourth quarter, only 5 points for the UE Red Warriors.
And we've hit the halfway mark of the fourth quarter. Oh, Desiderio wide open lane. Milo Nutria drive for Paul Desiderio with 28 big points.
Defensive laps there for the UE Red Warriors, leaving Paul Desiderio wide open.
Meantime, the Red Warriors trying to answer back. Clark Derrigue with 15 points in the game.
Number 20, Gerson Prado, his third, 3 on UP. Bonus free throw for Clark Derrigue.
Foul on Gerson Prado, his third. Derrigue did not score in the third quarter. He had 13 back in the first half. And now he has 16 points. So Derrigue and Maloles are leading the way for UE, both with 16 points. There's that pressure defense as Olayon scores. 6 points for Mark Olayon.
Still a manageable lead here for the UE Red Warriors if they're able to.
There's a steal. Derigi goes behind the back. And Olayon will sorry miss. And a tap out by the Red Warriors.
They can't afford to have those sorry misses. Once they're able to force a turnover for the UP Fighting Maroons, it should be an easy basket for them if they want to cut this lead down and have a chance to win.
June Manso is sent back in by UP, joining Desiderio. Noah Webb, Jared Lim, Gerson Prado on the floor.
Desiderio actually with a career-high game already, 28 points. His previous career high was 25 points, which was last season, 79, showing his wide arsenal of his skill set, shooting from the three, driving hard to the basket. So lahat na pinakita niya in today's game.
Meantime, Manalang gets away, but he missed it.
A lot of sorry misses here for the UP Red Warriors.
Oh, another sorry miss.
Speaking of,
And then Manalang is blocked. And then Manalang misses again, but this time there was a foul.
moving forward, I think one thing that the UP Red Warriors should improve on is their half-court offense. They need to know how to play if the pace of the game is slowing down. It can't just be a one-dimensional game na puro fast break, puro pushing the ball, because it would be easy to stop them if it would be that way.
Noah Webb will step out, and the Gomez de Leaño brothers are back in the game. Kyle Slau also going back to the bench. And the man on the line, a young man on the line, is Philip Manalang, starting point guard for UE.
Given that Bon Batalier is already not part of the team for the UP Red Warriors, a lot more pressure for Philip Manalang to assume the playmaking role for the UP Red Warriors. And aside from playmaking, scoring-wise also, we know that Bon Batalier was a prolific scorer in the previous seasons for UP.
Meantime, pressure defense by the Red Warriors. It's going to be last touch on Mark Olayon. Still 77-61. The Fighting Maroons are comfortably ahead with 3:31 remaining in the fourth and final quarter. We'll have this time out. We'll be back with more action in a moment. Coming up for the UP Fighting Maroons. Wow, what a schedule. LaSalle, and then FEU, and then Adamson, and then an NU team that impressed a lot of people. I mean, they lost to LaSalle, but they made a lot of people rethink NU's chances for a Final Four spot.
That's right, Miko. That's why we were telling everyone at the start of the game that UP needs to have a convincing win in today's game. Not just a win, but a convincing win. And that's exactly continue what they've been doing, up 16 points already in this game.
Considering yung UE was played great in the first half. They led by as many as 14 points in the first quarter, and then they led by 4 at the half. So okay na okay UE in the first half. But everything changed in that third quarter. Why?
The third quarter definitely spelled the difference for this game, only scoring 7 points. So if you score 7 points, you won't be able to set up your full court defense, which UE thrives on in their offense. And as you can see here, Ibrahim Ouattara, 10 points, 16 rebounds, and 1 block. So finally a breakout game for him. Hopefully he'll be able to take this for the upcoming games with the imports of Ateneo. Of LaSalle.
Rodriguez still shooting well. Now with 19 points after that Milo Nutriap galing move. Meantime, Ouattara waits, misses, again, got it. And Ouattara with a vivo, perfect shot. Will now take a miracle of biblical proportions for UE to get back in this game with 2 minutes and 28 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Juan Gomez de Leaño on the move, reverse is good.
Juan Gomez de Leaño really showing that he's a scorer. A lot of moves in his arsenal with that nice looking reverse layup.
Philip Manalang pulling up. And Paul Desiderio, aside from scoring 28 points, Desiderio also with 10 rebounds. As we enter our PS Bank last 2 minutes, brought to you by PS Bank Mobile, by PayMe, Touch ID, and in-app OTP. Pull up by Juan Gomez de Leaño, and that will be last touch on Ibra Ottawa. Let's check our McFreeze instant replay.
Of that reverse layup by Juan Gomez de Leaño.
It's a tough move, huh?
Off foot pa, left
Off
foot.
foot, and then you need the perfect pectus.
Pectus.
Para kakagat yung bola in the backboard as Derrigue will miss. Meantime, here's Desiderio with 28 points to lead the Fighting Maroons.
A career high once again for Paul Desiderio, beating his 25-point career high game last season.
Manso. Touch passing, Desiderio for 3.
Napagod.
Okay na. Okay na.
Okay na yan.
Okay, career high na. It's fine. You don't mind yung air ball na ganun with numbers like this. And maybe even more importantly, with yung shooting percentage like this.
Exactly. Before the game, we showed that he was only on a 22% field goal shooting, but now 60% from the three-point arc and 57% from the two-point field goal. So definitely a great game for Paul Desiderio. Very accurate, very smart with his shots. At talagang pinakita niya that he has that outside game going for him already.
It's not like Paul Desiderio is just like settling for layups. He is taking tough shots against defenders in his face. He's going to get a big round of applause from the UP supporters as he goes to the bench. He's done for the game, and he now prepares for UP showdown with the De La Salle University Green Archers.
That's right. A big game up for the UP Fighting Maroons.
That's on September 23, which means Ben Mbala will be in the lineup for LaSalle in that game.
So it's good also that Ibrahim Ouattara was able to get a great game for today against the UE Red Warriors with 12 points and a whopping 17 rebounds. This is the confidence that he needs going up a much bigger Ben Mbala, of course, with his experience playing in the international.
Now, as for Coach Derek Pomanem, Manong Derek and his team, they'll review this. They'll look at what happened in that third quarter as our referees are reviewing this play, the one between Jared Lim and Philip Manala. Okay.
Philip Manala holding on to
Pero foul was on Manala.
Nahuli siya dun eh. Just to add for the UP Fighting Maroons.
Well, the UP Fighting Maroons, again, preparing for that showdown against the Green Archers. Jerry Lim. What about this? What about the job that this UP backcourt did today against that UE press? They had problems with it in the first half. They solved that problem in the second half.
Great thing to point out here is the small ball that Coach Bo Perasol implemented. They had two-point guards sometimes so that they can match up with a high-intensity, fast-paced ball game that UE likes to play, and that really paid dividends for them. In the third quarter, they pushed the ball every chance that they could get after a missed shot. Once they get that rebound, forward pass agad so that they can have that fast break shot.
I recall yung lineup ni Coach Bo in the critical period of the third quarter. He had Atara the 5, and then Javi Gomez de Liano at the 4, Desiderio, Manso, and then Kyle Slau.
That's right.
So good, nakatakbo talaga yung UE. There's Coach Bo Perasol, assistant coach Ricky Dandan. They're on their way to getting win number 2 as Noah Webb comes in for Javi Gomez de Liano.
But I think a bright spot here, looking at the positives for the UE Red Warriors, we see that Mark Maloles had a breakout game, scoring 6 points. At least another offensive option for the UE Red Warriors. I know that they've always been trying to look for who else they can go to.
Outside of Pasaon, outside of Malayon, Maloles is a guy who can, he can hit threes, he can finish strong. And they'll certainly need him. UE's next game is against Ateneo. Actually, ang lapit ng schedule UE. They have Ateneo next, and then Adamson, and then Lasal.
And Ateneo, they'll really have to work on guarding Ike. I know they have a front line and they don't have an import in this season.
So Chippy Twister's move for Ibra Atara, continuing his splendid performance. And he blocks that shot by Manalang. Warriors go inside. 2 seconds to go, or 3 seconds remaining. And Manso, all he has to do is hold on to the basketball. The UP Fighting Maroons erase a 14-point deficit. They surged ahead in the third quarter, and that was the pivotal quarter. And Coach Bo Perasol's team goes on to win over UE 84-71.
As you mentioned, Miko, the third quarter was really pivotal for this game. Spelled out the difference and the outcome for the UP Fighting Maroons. They slowed down the pace of the game when they were more patient in their half-court offense, but at the same time, they were deliberate when they had the chance to run the floor. They did, and that's exactly what happened in the third quarter, as well as we have to commend Paul Desiderio, a career-high 28 points for him, and as well as Ibrahim Watara, another breakout game for him, finally imposing his will down low. He had 14 points, 18 rebounds, as well as 2 blocks.
So there's the final score, 84-71, UP getting their second win. Let's meet, or let's find out our Insular Life 1 in a Million performance. It's by Paul Desiderio. I think we're going to mention a lot of Paul Desiderio in this post-game. Wow, what a performance.
No doubt.
What a variety of shot attempts. Pull-up threes, attacking inside.
And I think one thing to point out here, aside from him scoring 28 points, he was very accurate from the field. Average more than 50%, both from the three-point area and the two-point field goals. So a great game for Paul Desiderio and the UP Fighting Maroons.
Our Olive Place winning team, the UP Fighting Maroons, they were hoping for a convincing win. They got their convincing win.
I think if there's any points for improvement for the UP Fighting Maroons, they just have to shake off that slow start that they had, especially that they're going up against LaSalle in their next upcoming game, so they wouldn't want to have a slow start up against a team like LaSalle.
Our PS Bankable Player of the Game, brought to you by PS Bank Auto Loan. Isang tulog lang, may kotse ka na. Go ahead, Mr. Desiderio. You are going to win all the awards today. 28 points, 10 rebounds.
He single-handedly carried the UP Fighting Maroons in that third quarter, scoring 16 points off his 28 in that third, showing everything in his skill set from the outside and from the inside.
Let's check our Gatorade Fierce player matchup. I have a feeling si Desiderio is still part of this. Ano? Paul Desiderio winning everything.
Here we had the matchups of the go-to guys of UE and UP, Alvin Pasaol and Paul Desiderio. Obviously, Paul Desiderio winning in that matchup. Alvin Pasaol not really given the minutes that he expected to get in this game, only getting 13 minutes in this game, but 12 points as well. But really the difference here, Paul Desiderio.
Shell V-Power, most efficient player. You know what? Let's give it to Paul Desiderio. Let's give him all the awards. Okay, he deserves it. What a day for him.
But of course, aside from Paul Desiderio, we can't disregard Ibrahim Watara. I really want to focus on him as well. Given that he's a new import for the UP Fighting Maroons, he'll be pivotal in their upcoming games against Imbala of the De La Salle Green Archers in their following game.
Meantime, coming up next, the Ateneo Blue Eagles will go up against the FEU Tamaraos. A lot of people feel these are two teams with really strong chances of reaching the Final Four, so that should be a great matchup, and that's coming up next. Once again, the UP Fighting Maroons overcome a 14-point deficit. They beat the UE Red Warriors 84-71. For UP's Agata Overo, UE's Mix Gomez, our insider Genyo Krishnan, and my partner, former national team player Bea Dias, I'm Miko Halili saying thank you for watching the UAAP on SNA.
move by Ken Bolos.
Touchdown Adamson.
Jerick Ahadmisi for three. The UP fighting Maroons.
If this attack will be successful, very good. Now here's Cyrus Baguio.
Knocks it in.
Kevin Ferrer to take the lead.
This is where USD is killing inside.
Marks puts it down. And National University ends a 60-year drought.
And the UE fans are going crazy.
Oh, what a play. The ball was in Roy Schumann's hands. Chia, 1 second left for the win.
Lagena with a spin.
Santos for a three. Yellow for three.
FEU Tamaraos. Back inside the Smart Araneta Coliseum in the heart of Cubao, Quezon City. And we are gearing up for game number 2 of UAAP Sunday. Earlier today, the UP fighting Maroons behind the 28 points. And the UAP best, Paul Desiderio, getting a second win for UP over the UE Red Warriors, which sets us up for game number 2 of your Sunday double-header here in the UAAP. And it's a big one. The Ateneo de Manila University Blue Eagles go up against the Far Eastern University, and that will cap off weekend action for the UAP on SNA. And it's also available on HD and SNA HD channel 166, and of course all over the world via the Filipino channel. Hello and good afternoon, and welcome to our live and exclusive coverage courtesy of ABS-CBN Sports. I'm Boom Gonzalez alongside Enzo Flojo. We are ready to go here inside the Araneta Coliseum for game number 2. Enzo, welcome to season 80 of the UAAP.
It's great to be back, Boom, and it's been an exciting start for the season so far. And we have an exciting matchup right here. 2 Final Four contenders projected, FEU and Ateneo.
Ganda na salubong sa'yo, ha? Unang game mo, ha? Matindi ka agad, Ateneo versus FEU. All right, let's bring in the rest of the starting 5, if you may, here for ABS-CBN Sports. Reporting for Ateneo will be Marty Bautista. She'll be taking care of business for the undefeated team so far. And then on the other side of the court, the FEU Tamaraos will be represented by Sydney Crespo. And of course, our UAP insider for game number 2 will be Pauline Versosa. Good to see everyone again, and we can't wait to hear what you have to say for your respective teams. That is, of course, for Sid and Marty, and Pawi will be all over the place today here at the Araneta Coliseum. Let's talk about the team standings first. Enzo, big win for UP earlier today, and they pulled away in that third quarter, which puts them right there with DLSU and Ateneo.
Well, if you look at the team standings now, Boom, you see the Blue Eagles right on top. 2 wins and no losses, and definitely they want to stay on top of the team standings after today's game. They've had a strong start so far. They beat the Soaring Falcons and the Fighting Maroons earlier this week, but their first true acid test is right now against the FEU Tamaraos. And speaking of the Tamaraos, they bounced back well this past Wednesday after their loss to LaSalle on opening weekend. They were able to beat UE, and they want to continue building momentum, hopefully against Ateneo. But aside from that, they want payback, because Ateneo is the one that eliminated them in last year's Final Four.
And, you know, just historically, Ateneo and FEU always gives us a great viewing experience here on SNA. Let's talk about that game that you mentioned earlier, Ateneo versus UP. A lot of people waiting for that game, especially because of that UP big win in their first outing, and then going up against their neighbors in Ateneo. Tell us, Enzo, what happened in that matchup?
Ateneo was a picture of domination in that game against UP, especially in the second half. The Blue Eagles led by as many as 24 points on the back of great production from Third D Ravenna, and especially Tyler Teo. They outscored and outshot UP from the field, from beyond the arc, and even from the free throw line. And as you can see here, they just lorded it over UP in terms of second chance points. That offensive rebounding has been crucial for Ateneo, and we'll see if they can sustain that today against the Tamaraos.
Well, it's the second straight game, actually, that they were able to offensively bounce on another team, especially from a rebounding standpoint. They're plus 16 in offensive rebounds against the last game, which was UP, and then Adamson. Yes. They were plus 16, and then plus 23 in second chance points in that first game. So for the second straight game, they really were dominant from a rebounding, especially offensive rebounding standpoint. But we go back to that matchup against UP. Really, the third quarter was the one that broke the dam wide open, so to speak, Enzo. And that guy on your screens was responsible for breaking down that wall.
Well, this guy, we've seen him the first time in that game against UP. A lot of people have been waiting for this guy to debut for Ateneo, and what a debut he did against the Fighting Maroons. Tyler Teo scoring 14 points total, 10 of those 14 in that pivotal fourth quarter, where Ateneo turned an 11-point lead into an 18-point bulge, broke the game open, and just left UP in the dust after that.
I couldn't have asked for a better debut for somebody who had to sit an extra year and spend a lot of time with Team B as he was trying to get ready for season 80. And perfect from the field, limited minutes.
Yes.
And that's all he could muster. Doon lang.
It was
6 out of 6
a
lang
picture
naman.
of efficiency,
That's
flawlessness offense from Tyler Teo.
And obviously, he's going to be a marked man today against the FEU Tamaraws, who are also coming from a win, as you mentioned, a comeback or a bounce back rather win against the University of the East. They led big in the first quarter, kind of cruised along the way, and then UE, as hard as they played, they never stopped playing. Really, just came up short in the end.
Well, that's the thing for FEU. They were able to really have a strong start in that game against UE, and they were able to weather the storm as the Red Warriors tried to rally and come back. The Tamaraws leading by as many as 19 points, but what really got them over the hump against UE was great playmaking and great scoring in transition. FEU is the #1 team in assists right now, and they showed that against UE, 26 against 19 in terms of assists. Fast break points then. They were plus 14 against the Red Warriors. FEU, the #1 transition scoring team entering this game, and that's something the Blue Eagles have to check if they want to beat FEU.
They also could not find the answer to the size of this man on your screens, who really probably come up with the best game here in the UAP for him. Maybe not necessarily numbers-wise, but overall impact, presence, dominance, rebounding. This is what they want from this guy. FEU, I mean.
Prince Orizo was the magnificent man in the middle for Moraita in that game against UE. A huge double-double, 15 points, 16 rebounds, 1 block. He's actually entering this game leading the whole league in rebounding, if I'm not mistaken, or #2 in rebounding right now. And he's averaging 13.5 points, 13 rebounds a game. That's one guy the Blue Eagles will definitely have to check. But the big question for Prince is, can he continue that kind of production against a big front line from Ateneo? They've got Isaac Go and Ike Chibueze. But if Prince can do that here again, FE will be in good shape.
And there's another question about him. Can he stay out of foul trouble?
True.
Because after him, the size factor goes down a lot with this FEU Tamarao team. All right, let's bring in our insider, Pawi Versosa, to tell us more about both FEU and Ateneo. Pawi?
Well, Boom and Enzo, like what you mentioned, these two teams are coming from a big win, and today's matchup will be deadly as the relentless Tamaraws face the versatile Ateneo Blue Eagles. And speaking of Ateneo's versatility, we've clearly seen that in their first 2 games. Defensively, they've been a tough team to beat in the half court, and they've been playing 5-on-5 for most of their games. Offensively naman, they have many scorers to draw from at any given point, as seen in Tyler Teo's breakout performance. But earlier, Coach Tapp told me that even with his numbers, he's still trying to get out something more from Tyler and the rest of the Blue Eagles. Now, whether you call that encouragement or pressure, Ateneo's coaching staff is expecting quality performance from the boys today, particularly with their turnovers. Now, on to the other side of the court. For sure, Tyler Teo has already caught the attention of the Tamaraws, and we can expect FEU to have a game plan that will minimize Teo's efforts. But FEU actually has their very own rookie matchup in 23-year-old Jasper Parker. Even though he hasn't played a lot of minutes in their first 2 games, he has proven that he can contribute. So far, he has a perfect score of 100% average in both his field goal and free throw percentage. So for this game, Boom and Enzo, it will be a battle between 2 teams who have an efficient and extensive set of players. Back to you.
It's going to be a great battle of guards, actually, in general. Thank you very much, Pawi and JR. Of course, we all know what he can do from SWU. We've seen a taste of it in the last couple of games. Looking forward to this matchup against Ateneo, the guards of FEU and the guards of Ateneo. And speaking of matchups, Enzo, you do the honors for our Gatorade Fierce player matchup.
Well, this promises to be an explosive matchup on both ends of the floor. We're talking about two of the top scorers so far in Season 80. 30 Ravenna averaging 18 points a game. And of course, Ron Denison, hindi magpapahuli. 18.5 points per ball game. Both of these guys love attacking the basket. When they get the ball, more often than not, they put their heads down and they're in one mode, attack mode. And that's what we can expect from both 30 Ravenna and Ron Denison. 30, very good at getting to the free throw line. He averages 9 free throws a game, leads the league in free throws made per game, actually. While on the other end, Denison leading the league in field goals made per contest.
50% shooting for 30, 63% shooting from the field for Ron Denison. It's going to be an interesting matchup for them. It's going to be an interesting matchup for their schools. Ateneo and FEU will get us going for game number 2 for your UAAP Sunday when we come back here on SNA.
Live from the Big Dome, the Araneta Coliseum on SNA, we present our second Sunday Battle Royale in your Season 80 of the UAAP. Here now are the starters, beginning with the Ateneo de Manila Blue Eagles. On guard number 4, Anton Asistio. Point guard number 12, Matt Nieto. Center number 21, Chibuese Ike. Power forward number 5, Vince Tolentino. And the forward number 0, 30 Lapena. Head coach of the Blue Eagles, Tab Baldwin. And now, starting for this season's hosts, the FEU Tamaros. Point guard number 3, Jasper Parker. The on guard number 4, Jojo Trinidad. Center number 17, Chris 22. Power forward number 20, Kenneth Ruffin.
Starting 5 for the Blue Eagles, no changes there. And then the starting 5 of the FEU Townhouse, they've had 2 different starting 5s against LaSalle and against UE. And this is their 3rd game of the season. Let's check their starting 5 here. Prince Orizo, of course, the man in the middle. 3 different starting 5s for FEU in 3 separate games. What does that tell you, Enzo, as we look at Ian Borbe, Nestor Soprano, and Art Herrera, the gentlemen taking care of the calls for today's game?
Well, that tells me that Coach Olsen really tailors his starting 5 to the matchups on the other end of the floor. For today, it's Jasper Parker, who's the surprise starter at the playmaking position for FEU.
And we are off. This Parker against Nieto. Trinidad. An offensive foul right away. Tuffin is called for that one.
And he wasn't set right there when giving the screen on Anton Asistio. Offensive foul called on FEU. That's something they have to be very careful of. They've been quite foul prone recently, so FEU has to check their fouls against Ateneo in this game.
And a counter offensive foul on almost the same play on the other side.
And this time it's Ike Chibueze getting his first foul. And he's got to be careful. He has been key for Ateneo.
Yeah, big men here in this matchup, the Orizu-Ike matchup, they have to take care of the fouls. Also, just from a fan standpoint, it would be nice to watch them complete this game all throughout.
Well, definitely. They match up really well against each other. Two really big and physical guys in the middle.
Orizu gets his first crack at Ike and gets it up and in for the first 2 points of game number 2 on your UAAP Sunday.
Well, great position down low there by Orizu and a great entry pass as well. 1 move, 2 points.
Now, why not try to get the second ball right away? Ike thought about it. 10 on their 24. 30 against Ron. 30 all the way. Gets it up and in. Kisses it off the window for the first Milo Nutrium drive of the quarter.
Well, nice move there by 30, recognizing the defense shifted, moving back to the baseline for that layup.
Dennison traveled. We're up 2 all, so it's perfect time for us to send it down to Sidney Crespo from the FEU side.
Boom and Enzo, the FEU Tamaraws are returning to get some revenge today versus the Ateneo Blue Eagles after they were dethroned in the last season's Final Four. Center Prince Orizu shared the lead, and it is still hard to forget that game because they only lost in the final seconds due to a defensive lapse, a costly mistake which led to the Blue Eagles' game-winning basket. Prince is known for his delightful dunks, but he's also capable of doing some delightful dishes like chicken curry and caldereta. He said he learned how to cook Filipino dishes because of his girlfriend and also by watching tutorial videos online. Prince is dedicating this game to his loved ones in Nigeria, especially to his mother, Ifeoma. He's very expressive about his love to his mother that he got a tattoo of her face on his chest. How about you, Boom and Enzo? Do you have any tattoo confessions to make?
I have a tattoo of Enzo on my chest. That is my confession of the day. I'm saying it on national TV.
I'm not sure I want to make any tattoo confessions on national TV, but
4-all is our score. We're off to a good start here. And, going back to Sid's report in that game last year, that was one of the more entertaining games of last year for the whole season, actually.
Well, definitely went down the wire, went into overtime, if I'm not mistaken. Low scoring in the overtime, but big shot by Isaac going at the end to give Ateneo the big win.
Tough hit, a little short on the banker. 4-all still. 7:40 to play in the first quarter. 30 to Vince. Back to 30. Gives up the dribble. Asistio directing traffic. Ike will obviously not shoot from there. 30 with a teardrop. Over Orizu. Gets it to trickle in. 6-4 is our score. And that one is a Vivo perfect shot.
Nice ball screen right there by Ike Chibueze, freeing up 30 Ravenna for the nice teardrop in the key.
10 on the 24 of FEU. Dennison gives up his dribble. Orizu, and that is the second personal foul. Great ploy by the FEU Tamaraws to draw number 2 from the big man as we send it down to Marty Bautista from the Ateneo side.
Boom and Enzo, in the last 2 games I've spent with Ateneo, I can't help but notice how Troy Malilin bends to the court and slides both his hands on the floorboards. He explained to me that this odd gesture was his pre-game ritual. Ika nga niya, yun yung sign ko na gagabihin ni Lord yung teammates ko, laro namin at ang coaching staff na sana magawa namin ang sistema ng maayos. The 6'3" NCAA Juniors MVP is now posing a threat to his opponents for his athleticism on defense. But Bumanenzo, even if Troy is a muscly menace on the court, every time I catch him doing his ritual in one of Coach Tab's huddles, you can't help but see a player who doesn't only play for the name in front of the jersey, but also for the name above. And this is the mentality the Blue Eagles had since day one. Handing it over back to you.
Thank you very much, Marty. And we hope to see Troy Malilin play today. Off the bench for sure. In the meantime, look at this. Vince Tolentino banker for a instant replay.
Well, Vince Tolentino, an orthodox shot right there, but great ball control in the air to bang that off the glass.
Malilin played the last couple of games, by the way. 15-minute average so far as we see Tough in there with a Nissin Yakisobra move. So we'll wait for his arrival later on. As Nieto lines up a 3, lets it fly and gets it to go. First great taste, great 3 of the game. Nice scoring clip that we have here early on.
Well, nice scoring pace from both teams. Nice shot from Nieto from the outside. That's what Ateneo needs, especially with Ike Chibueze now sitting on the bench.
It is Trinidad delivering the goods on the other side for a Yamaha big move.
Nice move right there from FEU. The challenge now for them is can they exploit the middle with Chibueze on the wood now, on the bench.
One of the things that Vince Tolentino has really worked on as you look at that Chippy Twisters move really in the last couple of years is that footwork of his. Big man of Ateneo actually has worked a lot in the off-season, I hear, with their assistant coaches, Isaac Go, Ike, Vince, in terms of positioning and footwork as another great taste, great three, courtesy of Trinidad in a third over here at 13 all, 5-27. How hot are these teams? 6 out of 8 and 6 out of 7.
Well, very entertaining, high-scoring game we're having, and that's very good for all the fans, of course. One of the big games to start off the season, this one.
Offensive foul called on Orizu. And that is his first personal foul. Sorry, check that. First personal foul. So the big man with one foul as Ravenna there still immaculate from the floor.
Ateneo definitely needs 30 Ravenna to continue being efficient on the offensive end. He is our number 1 scorer, number 3 in scoring right now in the league.
Loses it.
Ravenna just losing the handle there. Had a good positioning against his defender. Lost the handle. Could have been in a great scoring position for Ateneo.
And so that's the 4th turnover of Ateneo already here in the first as Dennison misses the 3. That's the one area of his game that he hasn't really connected in here so far this year. Dennison, despite that, he is shooting 63% the last 2 games. 30.
What you love about Dennison is last year he averaged 4 points a game, and now he's averaging 18.5.
16-13 of Milo Nutriap. Galing move of the quarter, Anton Asistio. The one responsible for that 3 ball. Dennison. Sorry, check that. It was Trinidad with his 7th point of the game.
Well, both teams on pace to score about 30 points by the end of the quarter. Very high-scoring ball game we're seeing.
Parang nainggit yata sila dun sa Lasal NU game kahapon eh. Napakabilis na, napakaganda. Go for 3, off to the left. Parker with a rebound. Does not force the issue.
And Go has actually been practicing that shot. We saw him take one also in the previous game against UP.
Great move by the former SWU standout of Mitsubishi. Great play. Slowly settling in to UAAP basketball, as Pawi mentioned earlier in our pregame. Asistio will try again. Gets it to go!
And I think there was a foul on that play as well. Anton Asistio, one of the top shooters, not just for Ateneo, but for the entire league.
4 out of 10 from the 3-point area in season 80 so far. He will shoot a free throw when we come back after this timeout.
Wendell Comboy for John Trinidad.
You're watching our McFreeze instant replay. Anton Asistio, the foul from Trinidad, his second 3-ball of the game. How about these two teams? 8 out of 10 for Ateneo from the field. 8 out of 11 for FEU so far. 19-17 is our score with Asistio getting the extra freebie in front of some very popular players. Kiefer Ravenna and the Hammer. Watching. Paser. Paser yun, diba?
Yeah.
Paser Ravenna, the Hammer.
Two good friends right there.
And incredible college players when they were in college. And
for sure.
Obviously, great players in general.
Two of the best from their generation as Anton Asistio completes a 4-point play, giving the Eagles a 3-point lead in this high-scoring affair.
Wendell Comboy is now in the ballgame for the first time as Dennison continues his attack mode. Misses there. Verano tracks down the repossession. Tyler Tio is now in the game for the very first time.
Well, we'll see if Tio can make an impact here. He was an instant offense player for Coach Tab Baldwin in their game against UP a couple of days ago.
Crossover by Rafi. Pulls up, gets it up and in.
And that's what you like about Ateneo. Anybody from that bench can actually score and make an impact for that team.
Dennison back to Parker. They swing it to Comboy. The challenge by 30. The closeout by Ateneo. Corner pocket shot is short. That is Escoto missing.
That was actually not a bad shot for FEU. Open shot for Escoto. Just could not knock it out.
Look at that. He gets the trickle for a and also PS Bankable assist to the game. Send and receive payments ahora mismo with PS Bank Mobile. And Asistio is on fire as he leads Ateneo 25-17. Inside the Smart Araneta Coliseum, and Anton Asistio walking into that three, getting the bounce, the friendly rim in front of the very proud father, and the biggest lead of the game at 25-17. We did say, Enzo, that it's going to be an entertaining matchup not only by the teams, but the guards are delivering 10 for Asistio, 7 for Trinidad here for FEU.
Well, these two teams have good big men, but it's the guards that really give them a lot of points. And Anton Asistio turning nets into cinders. He's hit 3 triples right now in the first quarter. There you see his stats, 10 points, 3 out of 4 from beyond the arc, just catching fire early for the Ateneo Blue Eagles. Ateneo actually the #1 perimeter scoring team entering this game, and they're showing why right now.
Kuya
Russell.
Yeah. Younger brother, of course, who is playing still for FEU. Wonderful career for his older brother. Now it's time for the young ones.
The next gen guys to take charge.
You know, the world belongs to the young, di ba? Sabi nga nila, yan. So, yan yun. Bata pa naman ito si Kuya Richard.
Yes, of course.
Pero hindi na pang UAAP. Ay, si Russell pa lang, ibig ko sabihin. Ngayon, si Richard na. Verano for three, and he gets that to go.
And as Verano released that three ball, our graphic read perimeter scoring, Ateneo just piling it on. And I think by my count, they have 23 perimeter points already as we see a steal from Tio.
Dangerous time here for FEU. As we approach the 2-minute mark of our first quarter, I know it's early in the game, but they don't want this to get away from them early on.
Heat check right there from Isaac Go.
Why not? Yeah, why not?
Well, he has been practicing that three.
Get into the three-point party. Ramirez, Comboy for three, gets it to go. The masked man delivers the goods off the bench.
Well, that's one of the weapons Comboy can unleash. We saw that when he was still playing for the BB Tamaraos in high school, and that's something he can really unload on Ateneo if they leave him that wide open.
Together with Dennison, also responsible for that fourth quarter comeback against LaSalle, just came up a little bit short. 30, releases for three, and he finds the rim.
And I think it's about six triples. Six triples already for Ateneo in the first quarter, if I'm not mistaken.
6. That's a travel. Everybody getting into the three-point act. 31-21. Let's look at this. Nowhere to go. So the back pass to Verano. He lines it up. 30. Thought about it. And then backtracks and finds the stroke from beyond the arc. All of that. 31-21 counts.
And what FEU has to do is just do a better job on their defensive rotation. They haven't been switching too well. Their bigs have been sagging on the shooters. And that's a big reason why Ateneo has hit 6 trees already in this game.
Pinasok na si Barkley Abonia, closing out on Isaac Go. Comes up short, comes up with his first rebound of the game. Kani is also in the game for the first time, the former Atenean.
And that's a shot that FEU will give Ateneo all day, that fade away from Isaac Go.
Ramirez comes up short, comes up dry. Tio waits for more friends. Gets the ball back with 17 on their shot clock. Pulls up for three. That rims out. The tap goes to FEU.
Two-man Savior School connection right there. Isaac Go and Tyler Tio coming from the same high school program. Just could not come up with any points.
On Ramirez. And a three on the other side. Nope. That's a good rebound by Ebonia, working hard, and a foul by Rafi Verano.
Good personal. Yes, go ahead. Good positioning right there by Barkley Ebonia, getting the position on Verano.
The former Ateneo.
2 shots for Barkley Ebonia.
Chelson Rosella.
Big free throws right here to chip into this 10-point deficit for the Tamaraos.
Some great scoring guards nga pinag-uusapan natin. Tolomia in the house here.
Mike Tolomia. And I remember having a conversation with Comboy when he was in high school. He said that he really wants to pattern his game after Mike Tolomia's game.
Yan yung mga sinundan nila, yung Tolomia at saka si Romeo.
Yes, that's true.
Sinundan nila Comboy.
Very shifty guards, great handles.
Go. Puts it up and in for another three. That is the 7th triple of Ateneo in the first half. 34-22 right at the horn.
After that three-point basket of Isaac Go at the end of the first, the score is 34-22 for the Ateneo Blue Eagles.
inside the Smart Araneta Coliseum is former King Tamarao, Arwin Santos, who's had his battles in this venue against Ateneo also. A lot of them before, back in the day, where he was King Tamarao.
Memorable battles before.
One of the best products they've ever produced, and there are a ton of them from that FEU basketball program.
Most of those guys had long limbs and very athletic.
Or even the small guys. They're one of the assistants of Coach Olsen Rosella.
The flying A.
Who had his own battles with his now head coach, Olsen Rosella. 34-22. How about that entertaining first quarter? Well, if you're an FEU fan, that might not be entertaining for you, but it started off really well. And then the three-point shooting of Ateneo right now, lights out, Enzo.
Well, definitely. This is a team that averages 8 threes per game. Right now, they have 7 already. We've just gone through one quarter of basketball.
29 perimeter points for Ateneo at 72% shooting in that first quarter. Look, you talk about FEU, they're shooting 53%.
Pretty
Not
good numbers
so
too.
bad. All right, speaking of FEU, let's go to Sid Crespo.
Just a quick shout out. Get well soon, Axel Inigo. He's not available today due to a bad case of flu, so we can expect more time from J.R. Parker. Meanwhile, I was able to talk to Arvin Tolentino at sabi nga niya na medyo weird feeling daw na makalaban niya ngayon ng mga dati niyang kakampi sa Ateneo, pero he's aiming to get the win today for the FEU community, gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Sid. 23 minutes for Axel Inigo has become really a steady point guard for Coach Olsen Rosella. That's a big loss for today.
Well, definitely. And the challenge for coaches whenever a key player goes down is rotation. Who will be stepping up and stepping into that position to take charge for the Tamaraos?
They have a battery of point guards and guards in general in that FEU system. Right now, they're down 10.
One guy who will probably be in the spotlight in the absence of Inigo is Hubert Candy. If he can step up against Ateneo no less, that would be significant for the Tamaraos.
Finds Tolentino for 3, overshoots the mark in that sequence. It will be FEU ball as we send it down to Marty Bautista.
Right after the second game, the Blue Eagles went straight to training the next day. They knew that if they wanted to crack FEU system, they're going to have to put in work. Coach Tab reminded them that you can't have the mentality that since you had a game, you can't have a day off. But if the boys want to keep continuing shooting those baskets, they're going to have to sprint at the right direction on the right time for their runouts. Coach Tab told them, we need to do a better job of understanding where we are on the court. So let's see the boys do just that. Handing it over back to you.
Thank you, Marty. Ateneo, 72-point average last year. They're up to 88.5 this year. That 16-point. I know it's only 2 games, Enzo, but that spike in offense. Remember last year, nobody was averaging in double figures. Now, so far in the first 2 games, they have 3 players who are averaging double figures. And conversations with the coaching staff of Ateneo, they just said that the team is just more comfortable in the system, and Coach Tab's system really takes time. He feels like it takes years to actually learn it, but the team is just more comfortable now, and as they are becoming more comfortable, he's adding layer after layer in that offensive setup, or just that offensive and defensive setup of the team, and that's why they're clicking right now so far early in the tournament.
Well, Coach Tab's system has been proven both locally and internationally already. So if you're Ateneo, you have good players. All you have to do really is continue getting, as you said, more comfortable with that system. If you can execute Coach Tab's game plan to a very high degree, then you're going to get very good results. And that's what we're seeing from Ateneo up until this point so far.
And because of that international experience and exposure, they were telling me that, as you look at, of course, a guy who delivered 5 championships to Ateneo, Coach Tab's international experience, the coaching is also through the years. He has to lay out a program through the years. That's why it takes a little bit of time. But then again, you're talking about sponges in kids right now in college in general. They just pick up things so quickly. And so every year they're going to add layer, maybe not even every year, maybe every round, every phase of the tournament, adding layer after layer. And the boys getting comfortable with Coach Tab here as another 3 is hoisted, this time by Tolentino, and misses.
Actually thought it was a pretty good shot from Tolentino. He's known as a guy who can really stretch the defense.
How about this?
Down. Wow!
Porter lets it fly for another great taste, great three, and another 12-point lead in this game. That is our highest lead. Biggest lead as Kani Kinayon, yung depensa ni Tyler Tio. And for a Milo Nutriap drive of the quarter.
Well, Hubert Kani has that ability to just really attack the basket, use that upper body strength. Nice adjustment in mid-air also against Tyler Tio.
Another three on its way. This time it's short. That's 8 triples so far. Ateneo, Comboy, getting fancy underneath. A lot of time. Comboy says, nope, I'll shoot. And he puts it away for a three. It is a shootout here at a Vivo perfect shot for Wendell Comboy, cutting the lead down to 7, 39-32. You're watching the UAB on SNA.
Stay spread, okay? When Arvin and Connie are in there, stay spread. But guys, we got to be unselfish. All right? Still in the loop, coach. You're still in the loop, okay? Again, find courts. Take your time. All right? Knock them down. Take your time. Okay, let's go, fellas. Let's go. Defensively, let's not get lost. Come on, guys. Let's not get lost. Keep talking on all screens. See the whole floor. Be aware. All right? Be aware. Get ourselves to the free throw line, too. Let's go. Hey, team out there. 1, 2, 3, team.
We welcome you back here for our coverage of the UAB and a freeze instant replay. Pass by Comboy and partner Bonyo just let it slip a little bit. Comboy says, it's okay, I got you. Take a three. Make a three. Cut the lead down to 7 with 7 minutes remaining here in the first half.
I think Coach Tab, after seeing that play, wants to focus on better defensive rotation from Ateneo. That's twice at least already this quarter they've left shooters open from the green and gold side of things.
Foul called on 30 Ravenna. The under 7-minute mark here. Tolentino and Cani, the former Eagles, now playing on the floor. Kani again in the last game that I did against UE. Very candid and very accountable for what he said that he wasn't comfortable the last time. He didn't expect that he was going to be used as much. He wasn't ready. He just feels a little more comfortable here at FEU. He understands now that this is a second lease in life. And he's putting in the work for Coach Olsen Rosella.
And for sure, Kani would like to prove himself also in this game against his former school.
Look at that. Aaron Black carrying the ball straight to the hole for a decent yakisoba move.
That's supposed to be Aaron's weaker side. Of course, everyone knows he's a southpaw. He loves shooting from his left side with his left hand. But nice finish right there on the break from Aaron Black.
You know, that 2 personal fouls on Chibueze kind of like opened the floor all of a sudden for Ateneo. At least on the surface, as we look at this McFreeze instant replay, it looks like it was like a blessing in disguise for them here in the opening half.
Forced Ateneo to look for other options, especially on the perimeter. A lot of their players.
They just clicked all of a sudden.
And there you go. Speaking of former players for Ateneo, CJ Perez was on their team B once upon a time in the past.
Kani missing. Tolentino with a repossession. 6 minutes to play in the first half. Vince Tolentino going downhill and an assist from 30 Ravena and a Milo Nutria galing move of the quarter.
Nice pass from 30, but if you're FEU, you don't like the fact that there was next to no help defense in that sequence.
Yeah, nobody's stopping. He was running from half court all the way, going inside, talking about Vince. Dennison loses it, trying to recover, and a jump will be called. A possession arrow points to...
I think it's going to be FEU still.
Let's look at this. Look at 30. So you cannot see in that slow-mo replay where Vince came from, but he was running downhill and just catches everyone napping.
And he was actually Orizo's guy, but Orizo sinking too low already on the defensive end.
Yeah, there you go. That's a better shot. Thank you very much. Direct Abet Ramos as we get back to live action and Prince Orizo gets the bang of the bucket. A chance for a 4-point play to stick around here and not let Ateneo really blow this game wide open. Another thing that Orizo has really improved in the last couple of years is just those hands, and the finish has been stronger as you look at Monbert Arong on your screens.
He was one of their top scorers last year, Monbert Arong, and this year it's been this guy who's putting up the points for FEU, Prince Orizo, recipient of a nice drive and draw play from Jasper Parker that previous sequence.
Ravenna crossing over. Ravenna stops on a dime, draws the second. Oh no, he traveled first, he slipped first. Not much free throws here in this game. Look at this. He slips and slides and literally slides. Right there. Lifting his pivot foot.
It's always a tricky, risky move to take a drive into the basket, stopping on a dime on a hop. Sometimes the refs will be able to catch your pivot foot as you lift it and call that travel.
First turnover for Ateneo. A foul before the move, says referee Porte. 9-point lead. Porter will be called for that one.
And FEU changing their attack mode a little bit now. They're trying to look for Orizo down, recognizing that the tallest guy for Ateneo on the floor is Chris Porter. As we're talking about tall guys, there's Toto Jose right there. I'm sure FEU misses his inside presence as well.
But also in his last year, transformed into this ball handler, playmaker role for FEU.
Making him a lot more versatile, talking about Toto Jose. As we see Orizo
missing again. So it's Orizo, Parker, Tuffin, Dennison, and Tolentino, the 5 for FEU. Go, Nieto, Ravenna, Mamuyak, and Tolentino, the quintet for Ateneo.
Prince Orizo banging that second free throw home, and FEU needs him to be a lot more productive. They need to feel his presence down low, especially since Ike Chibuez is still on the bench for the Blue Eagles.
Tough play, tough pass by Go. Mamuyak recovering. Gian will try to make a move against Parker. Parker sticking to him like glue. And great defense there by FEU. 4:40 remaining.
Great reads on defense by FEU. A lot of movement from Ateneo, but FEU just shadowing them really well in that defensive sequence.
Dennison crossing over, fades away, loses it. Great defense there this time from Nieto. Tolentino, 30, cuts, drives, kicks it right out to Vince. Vince, and a traveling infraction, another transgression called on the Ateneans. We got a timeout here at the 4:22 mark, an 8-point lead for the undefeated Ateneo de Manila University.
Organize the motion, ha? Pag-basket mo, huwag ka magmadali. Adjust. Listen. One attack, you got nothing, kick out. All right? Run the offense. Look, I'm okay with attack. All right? But we're attacking and their defense is there.
Some honest piece
spacing natin. You're going towards the ball. That's why your attacks have no options. You're going to run into defense if you persist with disorganized attacks. Okay? So one look at it, okay. Another thing, if you get inside like that, Arizu's off his feet, go ahead and show it, but, lock down and then get into his body when you go up. You'll get the foul. Mas pakita kayo para may pass option, ha? Show yourself. Let's go. Take care of the ball, all right? Hey, make easy passes. Take care of the ball. Let's stay with motion, all right? Stay with motion. And look, the pace of the game is really... Just there. Sama na spacing natin. We're going towards the ball. That's why your attacks have no options. You're going to run into defense if you persist with disorganized attacks. Okay? So one look at it, okay. Another thing, if you get inside like that, Arizu's off his feet, go ahead and show them. Lock down and then get into his
Video coaches winning ways. Coach Tab, Coach Sandy. Again, one of the things that they mentioned about Coach Tab, they realized in the last couple of years for Ateneo, talking about the assistant coaches, when I had their conversation with them, is his attention to detail is something they've never experienced. So, in that short snippet of a timeout that we caught, you can see really trying to work on the smallest things, details of this game.
And that's really what separates the good coaches from the truly great ones. That attention to detail, being able to notice even the smallest things that make the biggest differences in the outcome of games.
43-35 is our score.
Nice rebound right there from Ateneo, and they want to maximize their offense coming off a timeout.
9th triple of the game for the Blue Eagles, and it's a Haynes cool play.
Good recognition by 30 Ravenna. Mike Nieto open on the elbow for that nice looking three-point shot.
Let's look at this setup. The pitch by 30. Conversion by Nieto.
Again, if you're FEU, you're not happy about the defensive rotation of that sequence. These perimeter defenders have to beat their matchups to those spots.
11-point lead. The biggest of the game was at 12. Twice it hit the 12-point mark for Ateneo. So Arizu now starting to find a stroke on the free throw line.
What we like about Arizu is that despite his size, he has a pretty smooth stroke from the line. Oftentimes you're going to see guys his size about 6'8", 6'9", with awkward strokes from the stripe. But Arizu has a pretty decent stroke, and that's why we're been able to make quite a few free throws already in this game.
Marker telling members of our audience here at Araneta Coliseum not to use their flashes, while these boys are gutting it out here in the hard court. 46-37 and a steal by FEU.
Nice adjustment from FEU, turning into the full court press.
They're going to call it offensive foul. Rod Dennison there, charging into, was that Mike?
Yes, Mike Nieto right there. Look at this one, vertical. Mike Nieto keeping his feet on the ground, staying vertical, not slapping the basketball. That's how you defend a one-on-one fast break. Great defensive stance by Big Mike.
46-37 with 3:30 remaining in the first half. Ateneo versus FEU in game number 2, UAAP Sunday. Dennison and Ravenna, the matchup that we were talking about.
And this slow pace right here in this sequence actually favors Ateneo. They like a slow, deliberate style of basketball.
8 on the shot clock. 30. Draws the foul.
30 is just so good at drawing fouls. He leads the league again in free throws made per game. He averages about 9 free throw attempts per game, if I'm not mistaken. And that's where he gets a big percentage of his points.
Interesting journey for him here in the UAP, as we all know. Came in and couldn't mesh well originally with his brother at that time. It's always a tough situation, you know, especially coming from the success that he had in juniors basketball, Enzo, and then out of the UAP, comes back in different shape with a different mindset. Not with a different set of parents, of course. Mosey's still there. But yeah, the return last year, leading the team, and leading the team again this year. Very interesting journey for the two Ravenas. Very different paths.
Well, what you love about Ferdy is his resiliency after those early setbacks, and now he's really blazing his own trail.
And he commits the offensive foul there. He was asking for the ball earlier.
And timing is so important in transition, Boom. A lot of coaches will tell you it's not enough to get on the break and run, but really time those passes well. A second too late, if something like this can happen. As you see, off position was 30 right there.
And Parker saw the play developing because the pass wasn't coming right away, so he was able to stay there. And that, by the way, unfortunately, is the fourth turnover for the younger Ravenna. The lead, though, is still with them at 11, 48-37. Scoring has gone down here in the second quarter, but it's still high octane in terms of the action and the pace. Ramirez elevates. Unable to get the bounce and the roll. Asistio's back. Had the hot hand early in the first. Go had all day to shoot. Rims out that one, and Ramirez comes down with a defensive recovery.
And Ateneo is okay with Isaac Go taking that shot. They're comfortable with that. They have an 11-point lead anyway.
A good recovery there and repossession by Tuffin. But these guards of FEU, when they really, start really learning the UAP game and settling into the game like Ramirez and Parker. Imagine that combination. Imagine the blow-bys that they can get with their athleticism and their speed.
They're just innately so quick and so strong. They're very athletic. And you're right, many of these guards from FEU are coming from leagues outside Manila, so they still need some adjustment getting into the style of game in the UAE.
Board of Managing Directors, Anton Montinola, you're talking about Loera, talking about Jordan Santa Ana. These guys are breaking down defenses with their explosion. Is back in the game. And the first appearance by Troy Manilin, if I'm not mistaken. Pinato na lang! Ni Asistio pumasok pa. And a chippy twister's move. Calling back kaya?
I don't think so. But when you're a shooter like Asistio, sometimes your shooting touch just makes those things happen.
Oh, the whole Ateneo bench is up in arms. And they're going to call probably a warning or a technical. Nestor Sombrano there chatting with Coach Tab. They did not like that. They wanted a turnover, I think. Enzo, tell me if I'm wrong.
They thought it was over the back, I think.
Yeah. Doon sa tapik, ang iniisip nila, si Prince Orizo yata yung huling nakatapik. That's the hand of Prince. And it does go back.
From that replay, of course, no benefit of that replay for the officials, but from that stand, or from that viewpoint, it does appear like Prince Orizo had the last touch of that particular sequence.
That's why the whole bench stood up. And Tuffin will take the technical free throw.
But if you're Ateneo, those are the breaks of the game that, you just really have to roll with the punches, so to speak, and continue to play as best as you can despite whatever calls or non-calls don't go your way.
It's a missed call. It's a missed call. So now FEU with possession with under 2 minutes to play and a chance to bring this down to double digits. Ramirez. The strip, the slap, and the foul called on the driving RJ Ramirez.
And Troy Malinin is not really used to guarding against quicker guards in the perimeter when he was in high school for Lasal Hills. He was playing far forward and center. Dominating too.
He was averaging close to 20 and a little over 10 points and rebounds in his last year as a junior.
And he's just a supreme physical specimen. If you see Malinin up close, he's ripped, and those cuts are very prominent.
Again, the transition to the college game and then a different position sometimes takes a while to get used to. Ramirez gets that one to roll in. They've got time to chase here, talking about the Tamaraos at 1-1. Ateneo 2-0 early here in UAAP season 8.
And as hot as Ateneo's been, you gotta give credit to the Tamaraos. They're down by only 8 points, sticking and staying within striking distance of the Blue Eagles.
Kumakayod, pabalik.
Yes.
Look at the perimeter points. 37. Remember, FEU was a very good perimeter team last year.
At dito naman humahabol ng FEU. They've already been to the line 16 times. That's more than 3 times the amount for Ateneo, and they've been able to hit 12 free throws already. That's a big reason why they're down by only 8 points. Despite the Blue Eagles having hit 9 3-pointers already, the Eagles actually shooting close to 63% from the field, but they're up by only 9 points right now.
Now that is to put it in perspective, no? All the hot shooting. Now here, by 9. Make that 10. Minute and 38 remaining in the first half. And of course, as all the coaches will say, no game is won in the first half. Ramirez. Escoto, his older brother, had a very decent, medium range jumper as they take the ball back. Comboy is back here in the fray. 10 seconds on their 14 refreshed clock. Comboy lines up the 3. Gets it to go!
Nice zone-breaking offense right there from FEU. Very textbook. Move the zone, get the ball to the middle, and have your middle guy pass it to the open man on the wing. Comboy makes Ateneo pay with a nice 3-point shot.
All of his 9 points, Enzo, coming from beyond the arc. Sumagot naman ito si Asisio, who continues to scorch here at the Araneta with 14 points. The long 2, Comboy again. And a temperature check for him. And an intentional foul, I believe.
Looks like that's on JR or Jasper Parker.
Or was it just a pull?
A pull down.
Okay. That's the Comboy 3. And the answer with a long 2. As Anton stepped on the line, apparently. So 14 points for him. 9 for Comboy. And at the start, he did say, watch out for the guards.
And what you love about Asisio, just he reads the defense so well. He was actually supposed to go on that the ball screen with Troy Malinin, but just noticed the defense sticking with him, sank back to the corner, hit that open long 2. And here's Aaron Black. I think the FE using the penalty already. That's why he's shooting these free throws off that foul on the other end.
Parker, tinawagan. And an unfortunate end to his season 79. Enzo last year with that foot injury. 55-45, down to 35 seconds here in the first half. And it's been a highly entertaining matchup between Ateneo and FEU. 10 on their 24, and that's a travel. A transgression committed by Tuffin. This year, you notice, Enzo, diba, in the first couple of weeks here in the UAAP, they have really clamped down on all these pivot moves, all the first step moves, and wanting drag of that pivot. They're really calling it tight.
And as a player, you really just have to be conscious of those things. It's very, very easy to simply move your pivot foot, lift it, especially if you're in a stationary position. But you have to be conscious of your movement with the basketball in those kinds of situations.
Malilin misses underneath. 7 seconds remaining in the first half. Tuffin struggling. Parker looks at the clock. Parker sets up. Escoto for 3. No! Would have been big. And would have cut down the lead to 7. But right now, it is at 10. A nice scoring affair here. 55-45. 14 points for Asistio. Ravenna with 11 on the other end. Nobody in double figures for FEU, but a lot scoring at the 7s and 9s. We have 7 for Urizu, 7 for Ramirez, and 3 triples for Wendell Comboy for 9 points. Which brings us to 55-45 here at the start or at the end of our first half, second game of our UAAP Sunday doubleheader. Let's quickly throw it to Pawi Versosa.
Coach Sandy, your team's been doing really well beyond the arc, scoring 10 perimeter shots already. Has this always been the game plan for the Blue Eagles?
Well, if we have an open three, we don't discourage anyone from taking it. So far, we've had good looks from the three-point area. We shot a lot. Good thing we also made some, but we've got to play better defense. I'm sure that's what we're going to be talking about at halftime.
At the same time, Coach, your team has been struggling with FEU's defense under the basket. How will you overcome this in the second half?
Well, we've got to make sure it's a combination of inside attacks and outside attacks. Can't be all outside. You know, we've got to balance it more on the offensive end.
Thank you so much, Coach, and good luck. Boom.
Thank you very much, Pawi. There you go, Coach Sandy Arespacochaga. Speaking on behalf, of course, of Coach Tab. Insular Life, 1 in a million performance muna tayo. And double A. With some triples and 3 balls. 14 points. 3 triples for Antonio Cisio, Enzo.
Well, he's just been on fire for the Blue Eagles, and he's been the critical factor why they're up by 10 points right now, talking about Ateneo. And if he goes unchecked, FEU is going to have a long second half ahead of him.
Di nanlamig eh. Inupo, pagbalik, mainit pa rin. Ayan, maganda balita para sa ating mga UAP fans. First half pa lamang yan. Magbabalik po tayo dito sa Araneta Coliseum. Inside the Araneta Coliseum, we are at the half. Ateneo in the lead, 55-45. Let's go around this historic mecca of sports and entertainment and look for our PS Bankable fan of the game, brought to you by PS Bank Mobile. Sa PS Bank Mobile, one touch lang, logged in ka na. Sarap talaga sa UAP eh. Bawat tira, alam mo, last shot na eh. Kaya talagang sarap ng pag nanonood ka UAP. Especially live. All right, Appleton most improved player, Enzo. What about this guy in the first half?
Well, double A, Antonio Cisio hitting a bunch of triples in that first half. Entering the game, boom, he hit only 2 out of 8 from beyond the arc in the first 2 games. But right now, he's red hot. 3 out of 4 from beyond the arc, 75%. He has been the man for the Blue Eagles so far.
13 points, averaging only 8 in the last couple of games. Obviously, the numbers going up for AA. And a cold-blooded shooter in that first half. Double D naman tayo. Dunkin' Donut smile. The obsession sampler. I like that. The obsession sampler. And I like how he's being cool.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he's going to really go crazy.
Devour that
with
later.
that box. I would.
I would too.
I would.
Definitely.
Gatorade Fierce player matchup muna tayo, Enzo. Bigyan natin sila ng update.
Well, 13 Avena definitely getting the lion's share of the scoring here, averaging 18 entering the game. He's on pace to go beyond that with 11 points, to go along with 4 boards and 3 dimes. Ron Dennison on the other end, he has been checked by the Ateneo defense. 4 points only for Ron Dennison in his last year for FEU, but he's compensated by playmaking quite well with 3 assists already.
12-6 shooting, so he's starting to get and feel the defenses now. That's just going to be like that from here on in from the opposition. 55-45 at the half. We will be back here on SNA.
basket.
Back inside the Smart Araneta Coliseum. And we are minutes away from the second half of this great matchup between the FEU Tamaraos and the Ateneo Blue Eagles, who are ahead 10 points, 55-45 after the first 20 minutes of the game. Let's look at some sequences from the first half, Enzo, from both teams. We started off really well here. 8 out of 10 shooting at the start for Ateneo, 8 of 11 for FEU at the start.
Red hot shooting from both ends of the floor to start off, and but this was key also. 2 quick fouls on Ike Chibueze under 3 minutes into the game. But in a way, that was a blessing for Ateneo. They were forced to score from long range, and they found a lot of success thanks to AA, Anton Asistio.
I wonder, though, if that was a conscious effort, that the game plan changed with Ike not there, or, it's just really one of those days. Hey, they found the stroke and they kept looking for it. And Ateneo knocking down a ton of 3-point shots in the first half. Ilan ba? Siyam, 9 of 19.
Yes, 9 out of 19. It's about 47% from Rainbow Country. The Eagles just making him pay right now.
Here's my question to you, Enzo. How did FEU stick around here? They got the lead down to around 8 or 9 still from a high of 12. Ateneo was able to maintain 12-10, 12-10. And, with the kind of shooting that we've seen, this should have been at least 15, 16 point lead,
that's
right?
True. Well, what we love from FEU is they were very aggressive and remained aggressive throughout the first half, especially in terms of rebounding. 6 offensive rebounds.
That's big.
Converted to 8 second chance points. That's ironic because Ateneo, that's been their weapon so far in the first 2 games.
We highlighted that at the pregame.
That's true, but now it's FEU really attacking them on the offensive glass. And don't forget the free throws also. FEU already hitting 12 out of 16 from the free throw line, and that's also one reason why they've been able to stay within striking distance of Ateneo, despite the hot shooting of the Blue Eagles from beyond the arc.
That is really an interesting point. You see no second chance points. 31-7 Ateneo over UP, and 29-6 Ateneo over Adamson in their first 2 games. But here, nothing from that department. Very, very interesting. We'll keep an eye on that as you look at our leading scorers. And let's throw it right away to Pawi Versosa. Pawi?
Coach Jojo, Ateneo has been dominating this game beyond the arc. How do you plan on stopping their perimeter shooters?
You picked the right word. They're dominating. They're shooting well from the 3, from the 2. But we're not out of it. I'm banking on them not shooting as well as they did in the first half because they were excellent. So we're hoping that with our adjustment in the second half, we can keep the game a little bit closer.
Coach, we've also seen that you've been struggling with your defensive rotations. How will you overcome this in the second half?
It's not a struggle in our defensive rotation. It's just guys are just shooting so well. There's nothing you can do when you put your hand up and this will make a basket, so there's nothing you can do.
Thank you so much, Coach, and good luck. Boom.
Thank you, Pawi, and a guy who doesn't, has not a bad shooting touch for himself. Not a bad game, actually.
Definitely not.
Coach Jolas. Yeah.
One of the legends of Philippine basketball.
Yeah. If you don't know, well, read up.
Read up.
On who?
Google nyo na yan.
Who the legs. Jolas, the legs. Coach Jojo Lastimosa. Among the battery of assistants there with Coach Olsen Rosella. Of course, here is on the other side, Coach Tab leading his team to 55-45. And by the way, Pawi Versosa is getting really good at ambushing all these coaches out of the door.
Medyo sneaky game yung interview game ni Pawi.
Parang ginugulat niya si Coach Jolas eh. Paglabas niya, wala na siya magawa. Nandun na si Pawi. May hawak na mikropono eh.
Parang na-hold up na siya ni Pawi sa interview.
Can't say no. Even if you're Jojo Lastimosa, can't say no to Pawi Versosa, our UAAP insider for today here in our second game. All right, here we go. Second half is underway. Tolentino, Nieto, Asistio, Ike, Ravenna. The same starting 5 para dito sa Ateneo. Sa kabila naman, it is Orizu, Escoto, Trinidad, Parker, and Dennison who gets the rebound there. boxing out 30 Ravenna.
And maybe not the kind of shot you want right off the halftime break if you're Ateneo. I know Ike has been practicing the three as well, but definitely not your first option on offense if you're Ateneo.
Nainggit eh. Ang tagal niyang naupo sa bench, and then he saw all of these three-point shots being hoisted by Go, Porter, and everybody else as Orizo stays in his pocket area inside Milo Nutriap. Galing move of the quarter.
And you can expect FEU to continue attacking the defense of Ike, trying to fish for his third foul. As we see 16 against 8 points in the paint in favor of FEU, but Ike right there making his mark.
Asian Yakisoba move. Now let's see how the game will change for Ateneo now that Ike is there playing with 2 personal fouls.
Well, the thing about Ike is he doesn't really look for his own shot.
Yeah,
but
he does.
He makes his money, so to speak, with those offensive rebounds and those putbacks and sliding in the pocket right there and sliding in the slot for those easy twos.
It's a great handoff from Escoto to Parker, knocking down a 3. A great taste, great 3, and cutting the lead down to 7. 5 points for JR.
Well, what you love about Parker is walang kaba. Even if Axel Inigo's not in this game, and he's been thrust into that role as a top playmaker for FEU, no nerves or no anxiety whatsoever for Jasper Parker.
Let's check in with Sydney Crespo from the FEU side. Sid?
Focus on the next win, not on the last one. This is what team advisor Sir Ed Garcia instills to the team. Coach Olsen said that despite being down by 10, he still fully believes that they are in this game. He just wants the boys to focus and adjust to the game and minimize the breakdowns in order to win this game and in order to finish strong.
Thank you very much, Sid. 5-point lead. FEU making a strong run here at the start of the third, also from a defensive standpoint.
And that's not the attack you want to see if you're Coach Tab Baldwin. You heard him in the first half telling his boys to attack smartly and, exploit those gaps, but definitely not the kind of thing that Vince Tolentino did in that particular sequence.
Trinidad. Escoto wants the isolation against Asistio. Hands it off to Orizo. Orizo missed the dunk.
What could have been a perfect, what I call YouTube play right there, but Orizo just muffing that slam-a-jam, a very uncharacteristic for the 6'9" center.
That is true. We've had some missed dunks here in this season so far. Some really good-looking missed dunks.
Yes. Well, I've never made a dunk myself, Boo, but I imagine sa gigil minsan eh. No?
Kaya nga good-looking. Kasi hanggang look lang tayo eh. McCree's instant replay, Orizo unable to put it down here. Hill with a miss on a traveling infraction. And then there was Acomo. Yes, Acomo. Missed opportunities. Asistio flying high. Gets the roll. Still having that touch today and a chippy twisters move.
And that's something that Asistio has been doing for Ateneo since his grade school days. Starting for them and making those runners.
He's 9 out of 11 from the field here in this game. As a block there by Prince Orizo. Time for us to go to Marty Bautista from the Ateneo side. Marty?
Boom and Enzo, when Coach Tab entered the dugout and said, if you ask me which team is executing their game plan, I would say they are. All the boys turned immediately silent. Coach Tab commended their shooting, but in terms of game plan execution, they still haven't made a statement. He asked the boys to improve their transition, their defense, and to quit giving FEU free throws. And Boom and Enzo, all I can say is you were right with Coach Tab's attention to detail. It's hard to play with such a precise system, but I know the boys will be able to adapt. Handing it over back to you.
Thank you, Marty. Of course, when Marty says they, Coach Tab meaning they, he was talking about FEU. Even with that lead, and again, underscoring that whole meticulous. Coach Tab not happy, especially now that FEU is making a run here at the start of the third.
Well, FEU not really doing anything special here to start off the second half, but they've been chipping at that lead with their sustained level of aggression, just maintaining their sharp execution. They haven't hit as many big splash threes, but those little drop passes, those free throws, that's what's keeping them in this game.
Ateneo volleyball community also in attendance. Coach Oliver, Rex Intal. As this lead is at 6:59-53. Oliver Almagro, of course, champion coach for Ateneo volleyball. Top of the circle, Nieto with 9 to shoot. Accelerates. Orizu. The handoff to Ige. Great job. There's nobody covering for Orizu there. Dennison with the fake. And he, I think, slides. And by the way, that shot earlier from Ige was a Yamaha big move. Let's look at this setup by Nieto.
This was actually a broken play already in that attack. Nieto was stopped, but nice court awareness, knowing that Ike was just a few feet away from him. Great drop pass, good finish from Ike.
For FEU, that's that rule about helping the helper. And they were unable to help Orizu there, who helped out on the cutting Nieto.
And just a miscommunication at the other end for the white shirts. Anton Asisio with a bad pass right there. Not knowing that his guy would be cutting instead of flashing outside.
9 of 13 from the field now for AA. Unidad. Door was shut. So they stay out here with 12 to shoot. Parker against Tolentino. He wants to go one-on-one against Vince. Parker goes to his left. Back to Escoto with 5 to shoot. Escoto will shoot that one.
And I thought that FEU had pretty bad spacing in that one-on-one sequence. Escoto should have gone to the other side of the floor to give Parker much more space to operate against Tolentino.
Ike. The cut to Ravenna. Orizo was there. Return to sender.
Actually thought that was a good cut by 30, but great recovery by Orizu.
Trinidad might have traveled. You know, remember I was saying in the first half that they're clamping down on all of this as you look at the Manulife 110% heart and hustle player, Orizu. Shuts the door at 30 Ravenna. And I talked to Commissioner Rebos, Isag at halftime, and he said, really, there's no directive. It's just that there's so many traveling violations being occurring here in the UAAP, especially that first step kind.
Yes.
The first step kind. And there's no directive as Nieto finds a stroke from the corner.
And I believe that's a 10th triple already, if I'm not mistaken.
And all of a sudden, it's back to 11-point lead. One boy back in the game here for FEU. With a hot hand, 3 triples for him earlier. Lazy pass by Wendell Comboy. Tolentino running. And Comboy taking it away. And will stay with Ateneo. Now we have a timeout here at the 4:27 mark. We will be back. Back here inside the Smart Araneta Coliseum, it's Ateneo versus FEU. And you know, looking at the other TV coverages, and we see all of these upcoming games for all the other teams, I've come to the conclusion that there's really no easy schedule for anyone. It's just a matter of who's going to be next. But really, there's no easy schedule. I mean, I know UE has not won, and that's but those guys play hard, and sometimes nabibitin na lang sa, sa scoring, sa talent at the end. But all the other teams, Enzo, when you talk about, you know, them meeting, if it's FEU, UST, that's going to be tough. NU, as the way they played yesterday, that's going to be tough. UP, the way they played today, that's going to be tough. Adamson, no easy way.
No easy games here. And, you know, if you're a coach, that's a mentality you want to impart to your players, to approach each game and take each game very, very seriously. Even if UAE and UST are winless right now, you can't relax, take the pedal out of the gas pedal against any of those teams.
It's going to be a tough season for all of these teams. Speaking of, a tough shot from 30 Ravenna. It's a Mitsubishi great play. And this lead, all of a sudden, which was down to 5 earlier, is now back up, and it's at its highest at 13.
And as resilient and aggressive as FEU has been, they need a big run to really put a scare and rattle Ateneo. They can't keep on trading small spurts with the Blue Eagles.
Parker. And not good on that attempt. Quick three by Asistio. From a cross-court pass by 30. Comboy behind the back. 66-53 is our score.
And it seems like the field goal shooting of both teams have gone down a bit here in the third quarter. And this is where your execution and composure will really come to the fore. And this is where possibly FEU could miss a stability that someone like Axel Inigo brings to the game.
That's a 9-1 run right now for Ateneo. Broken up. Takeaway by Ramirez.
Just bad execution on the break right there for the white shirts. Coach Star probably wants 30 to be a bit more patient in that kind of situation.
10-second shot clock. 5 minutes and 30 and counting for FEU. No field goals. And that will continue as Parker misses. They have gone silent here after getting it down to 5. Ike will power through, and it's an 11-1 run for Ateneo. And a Milo Nutriup drive at a quarter, and all of a sudden, it is a 15-point lead.
And a while ago, we were talking about Ike not looking for his own shot, but nice shot right there from him. He was in rhythm, going up against Orizu. Nice left-handed finish for Ike.
And a nice left-handed drive by Ramirez, just not getting the roll there. He gets it back. He's up against Nieto. Ramirez will drive hard. And a foul be called on... Sorry, that's Verano.
And let's see how the foul was called there. I thought Verano maybe...
If you could see live right now, we're looking at a slow-mo, but 3 instant replay. 4 FEU players are hanging on to their shorts right now here at the Araneta Coliseum. Ramirez, Orizu, Parker earlier, they were all hanging on to their shorts as this 11-1 run is happening.
Well, heavy minutes being played by those guys you mentioned, Boom. But as I was saying, Rafi Verano, the difference between him and the earlier play with Mike Nieto, where Nieto was not called for the foul, was this time around, Verano put his hands down. He did not stay vertical as Ramirez attacked him in the break, and that's why he was called for that foul.
First miss for Ramirez from the free throw line. He is right now 4 out of 6. 7 points for him.
And that fatigue that you implied on FEU, that could play into the game for them as they head into the fourth quarter, and sila pa naman yung naghahabol. So that could be significant for Coach Olsen's boys.
And both free throws were short, you could see. Comboy lines it up. Oh boy, they needed that. Pang-apat para kay Wendell Comboy. Off a PS Bankable assist of the game, send and receive payments ahora mismo with PS Bank Mobile.
12 points right now for the former FEU BB Tamarao. All those points coming from threes from beyond the arc. So Wendell Comboy has been keeping them afloat. Talking about FEU.
Oh, that battle underneath by Orizu and Ike. You don't want to be in the middle of that. Kani. Tough drive. Orizu goes to the other side. 5-0 run. Cutting the lead down to 10.
But if you see Orizu live right now, he's holding on to his chest move. He's a little tired, a little winded the way he's sprinting down the floor.
And him bodying up against Ike. That's going to take something out of you.
And you know, nakita natin yung iwan siya ni Gian Mamuyak. Could not recover well as Mamuyak drove strong to the hole.
It's a track meet here. 7:58 Ateneo maintaining a 12-point lead.
everybody. Welcome to the Steel City Break Room. My name's
back inside the Smart Araneta Coliseum, and a third quarter that has been up and down. The lead cut down to 5 and a quick jump is Polvorosa. Sabi nga natin, volleyball players, Ateneo Volleyball, represented here. Wonderful, incredible setter from the volleyball program of Ateneo. So the lead cut down to 5 and a quick start by FEU in the third quarter. Then it jumps back, and Ateneo comes up with their biggest lead of the game at 15, all here in the third, and we're down to 38 seconds, just like that, Enzo.
And if you're FEU, you just got to settle down, execute better, and play much tighter defense against the Blue Eagles.
Dennison steps back for 3. A fresh shot clock for FEU. Look at that defense by Go on Ebonya. They're forced to kick it out again. Kani, great anticipation there by Mamuyak.
And that's really Mamuyak's calling card. Ever since high school, those long limbs and those active hands, coaches talk about those things, and Mamuyak has those in spades.
Kani, 5 on their 24. The show on Kani, it was Go all over him in that play. Tio accelerates, sets up Go, and a pocket pass from Tyler Tio gives them a 14-point lead at the start of the fourth quarter. Just when FEU had their headway here, look at that tight one.
Savior connection move. These guys have played with each other before in the past in high school, so they know each other so well. We saw it right there in that sequence.
Back in a moment with fourth quarter action here in game number 2 for your UAAP Sunday. You are watching the UAP on SNA. Boom Gonzalez together with Enzo Flojo here. And Ateneo with a 15-6 run to end that third quarter to kick the lead back up to an even 14, just as FEU brought it back down to 5 at the start of the third quarter.
In that third quarter, FEU had a stretch where they could not buy a basket. Their field goal shooting was only 33% in that period, and that's got to come up if they're going to put a major dent in its deficit against Ateneo.
Comboy, Tolentino. That's the kind of 3 that he likes. The setup job by Comboy, but a miss by Tolentino, and Go hauling down the repossession. It's Tio, Mamuyak, Go, Verano, and It's Nieto on the other side? Yes.
Yes, Mike Nieto. And if you're FEU, you have to attack that defense of Ateneo a little more aggressively, not make fouls like that.
Yeah. Closeout was too aggressive. A foul is called. Third personal on Ron Dennison, who has not gotten himself going also offensive.
Well, he's averaged 18.5 points in the first 2 games, but like you said, Booms, nothing going, no rhythm for Ron Dennison so far in this game. And if they're going to really make or stage a big rally in the final frame, they need him to lead that rally.
Sept Nieto, the father of the Nieto brothers on your screens earlier. He played with Olsen.
Yes.
He played with Olsen, right? With Danny Francisco,
in the late
Aaron
80s,
Reyes,
yes.
right? All played together.
And that's the younger brother, actually, of Mike Nieto right there. His name's LeBron Nieto.
I'm sure he's got the LeBron game going too at a young age. Nothing there for Kani. Now the pressure starts building for FEU to make these shots now.
And this is where you miss the veteran presence of Axel Inigo. His decision-making, his stability, and all the things he brings to the table for the Tamaraos.
Yo gives up the dribble. Yo, again, 6 out of 6 in that last game. Today he's been a facilitator as goal. Just bullies his way for that offensive rebound and a Nishin Yakisoba move.
But when you see Isaac go, he has his baby fat, he looks like a kid. He is not the most athletic big guy, but what you love about him is he takes up so much space and he knows how to position himself around the basket.
And this now is the biggest lead of the game. An 18-point lead. Let's look at that piece of action earlier. The miss by Mabuya. Boxed out by Tolentino, but really out of position. Good, just right there. You can see it in McFreeze's replay. Good not caught by the referees there.
Yes, that's true. And Arvin Tolentino just overmatched against Isaac in that particular sequence. Tolentino not a natural center.
Puntahan muna natin si, Enzo, puntahan muna natin si Marty Bautista from the Ateneo side.
I bet you're all hot on your seats wondering where this exceptional shooting is coming from. Well, I remember Coach Tab sharing to me that from January to May, the boys practiced shooting for almost 30 to 45 minutes. Coach Tab focused on the basics of shooting first, and when he was contented with that, he moved on to teaching system plays. Now, all they have to do is keep up the pace and keep continuing their executions. Back to you.
Thank you, Marty. Tolentino's down on the floor. Verano got the offensive rebound, and he was the one on Tolentino in that sequence. Like one of those solar plexus hits, Enzo, that knocks the wind out of you.
Love to see the replay of that and see what exactly
it was in the
between Verano and Tolentino.
It was in the rebounding sequence.
That one right there. Oh,
there's second one.
That second one right
there. Second elbow. An elbow by Verano. So he stayed with the play because they got the ball back. They got the offensive rebound.
Seconds before that happened, they were actually talking to each other already.
Meron na.
Yes.
Yun ang mga hindi natin nakikita minsan.
But in that previous sequence, great zone breaking play from Ateneo.
And Joseph Nunag now is in the ballgame for the first time here. Humugot na si Coach Olsen. In the meantime, a Milo Lutriap galing move at the corner from Hubert Kani.
As you see the zone defense here from FEU, Coach Olsen shifting his defensive scheme again. What a great way to break that zone from Gian Mabuya.
Mabuya finding Isaac Go with a chippy twisters move and a 3-point play opportunity. That was a great find, great dive, and a better fake there by Isaac Go.
Great finish. And to break the zone move, you have to move the zone and attack, and that's exactly what Ateneo did in that sequence.
This time, Verano will be called for a foul. Hold down.
Only foul number 22, referee Verano.
Fourth personal. Former Ateneans here right now. 4 points of 9 shooting for Kani and Tolentino. They set their team for the first time.
They've played 17 minutes combined already. Maybe not the kind of top-notch production, but these are 2 young guys that Coach Olsen and the rest of the FEU staff are developing for the future. That's why they're giving them a lot of burn on the floor against Ateneo right now.
Tolentino It's a foul that they're going to call on Verano. They're still at it.
And the refs are aware that these two guys have been jawing at each other for the past few sequences down the floor.
He's out.
They want to put the clamps here, and yes,
he's out.
That's 5 fouls already. But Rafi Raz, we see here, he steps in the landing zone of Arvin Tolentino. That's an easy ball for the ref to make.
Free throws will be given Tolentino. The challenge up top was fine.
Yeah.
It was that little extension of the leg underneath.
And sometimes instinct na yan when you're closing out on a shooter move. But of course,
yeah, it's not necessarily intentional, you're saying. But it's an instinct move, and referees have to clamp down on that for the safety, obviously, of the shooters. As we look at, of course, Mr. Fernandez, board of managing directors here in the UAAP, Manuel Fernandez. 16-point lead for his team. 7 minutes to play. What's the prognosis here for FEU, Enzo?
Well, time's running out for the Tamaraws. You need a big run, and if they're going to make that run, it has to be right now. They got to put the clamps on Ateneo, and I think that's one thing that Coach Olsen is trying to do. As we saw, that was Adrian Ong, one of the guys who was really instrumental for Ateneo last season.
Out for the season.
Yes, an injury has sidelined him for season 18. But the blessing in disguise is it's given an opportunity for a lot of other Eagles to step up. That 1-2-2 zone for FEU producing a turnover, and hopefully they can capitalize on it here.
Under 7 minutes to play. Earlier on, UP pulling away from the UE Red Warriors, who were up by 4 at halftime, by the way. And then Paul Desiderio just happened.
And Paul Desiderio can get hot, and how? He just really torched UE in the second half of that game.
Second personal foul here by Arvin Tolentino.
Here is the president of the Ateneo de Manila University, Father Jet Villarin, doing his support to the Blue Eagles.
Let's check in with Sidney Crespo from the FEU side.
Let's take care of the ball at wag natin ipilit kung hindi kaya. Coach Olsen says he wants the boys to extend their efforts in rebounding and help each other possession by possession. Paalala nga ni Hubert Cani sa kanyang teammates, kaya natin to pre, basta ingatan lang natin ang bola. Gentlemen?
Unfortunately, just as Sid started their report, they commit their 14th turnover, talking about FEU, ironically.
Those are the kinds of turnovers you cannot afford if you're the Tamaraws. You're playing from behind now.
Gahabol ka. Every possession counts now. Kani with a great drop-off pass and the setup job. And Ebonia.
Great awareness by Kani. He saw that Ateneo's defense was not set yet. Attacked very aggressively. Great pass to Ebonia. Now a chance for Barkley to have 2 free throws.
Just in better shape this year, talking about Hubert Cani. Again, he said, he's accountable, that he didn't put in extra work for himself. He admittedly lost in a system where he wasn't comfortable in also. Combination of 2 things, and now I see him coming into the season in shape, not overweight, trying to make his mark here in FEU as he gifted Barkley Ebonia there with a drop pass. And Ebonia, 2 out of 2. Free throws that they surely need here in this game.
That's the kind of scoring that really benefits the Tamaraws. They hit 2 points without the clock moving. That's exactly what they need to eat into this double-digit deficit.
30. Underneath, goal, trap. The bailout pass to Nieto comes up short.
Great scrambling defense from FEU, making Ateneo uncomfortable in that sequence.
And is that Tolentino? Yeah, Tolentino with a stick back here. The lead down to 11 after that C2 cool and fast break. Coach Tab will call a timeout real quick. saw Ateneo's schedule. Now we're looking at FEU's schedule. And this is more just for you to really mark your calendars as to what you want to watch. But again, we will re-emphasize or emphasize the point, and so that all of that is going to be tough.
Well, definitely. NU, Adamson, maybe even UP, they're counted as Final Four contenders.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
This season. UST naman, we said earlier, you can't take any team for granted, especially a team like UST.
There's no sure win here in season 80, your UAAP. And if you just judge the games by the scores, you read it, the box scores at the end of the night or the next day, then you won't grasp how tough the games have been, because teams like UP, they got away in the fourth. Teams like Lasal and then Ateneo got away in the third quarter. But, you know, some of them have been really, really tough. In the meantime, an RCBC Savings Bank nakakabilib play. Tolentino lines up the three, lets it fly and gets it to go.
That's the kind of shooting you need if you're FEU. And what you love about this run by FEU is they're doing it without Orizo on the floor. There's no Denison without their top two guys. And if they can sustain this, they could be in a position to win this game or steal it from Ateneo.
And also, Enzo, during the timeout, you noticed that Ateneo's in penalty.
Yes.
So that's something that FEU can take advantage of as we hit the 5-minute mark of this fourth quarter. 30. Though, puts a little more distance and gets it to go from beyond the arc.
Nice, confident step in three right there from 30, Ravena. And I think that's his first three of the entire season so far, Boom.
Yeah, meron siya kanina.
Meron siya kanina, so that's
Step
second na.
Oh.
First two games, he did not make a three. He's made two already in this game.
Nice offensive rebound there by Bonya, working hard underneath. Tough it for three. They need more of that, and they need to draw fouls.
And FEU's trading right now, but you still love the fight that's being shown right here by the FEU Tamaraos and Ateneo. You see the graphic there. Second chance points, big difference night and day from the first half to the second half. Second half, 10 second chance points. That's more in character for the Blue Eagles.
Oh, binanggit natin yan noong halftime na wala. After the first two games na talagang dinomina nila. Yung mga second chance points niya. And like 10% mark so far. Player. Filipino. The block.
14 seconds on the shot clock.
14. Shot clock of Ateneo.
FEU showing some 1-2-2 zone defense right here against Ateneo. But Ateneo doing well attacking that zone, not settling for those contested jumpers.
Mahabol na rin ang FEU sa labanan ng tres. They have 9 of their own. But underneath is where Vince Tolentino, Ike, and Go are making their money for Ateneo. That's a Milo Nutriup drive of the quarter, and let's look at it again.
Well, Ateneo's doing a terrific job exploiting those gaps, especially those short corners. Sequences ago, 30 Ravena had a nice pass to Ike in the slot, and now that was Tolentino.
And this is, you go back to what Sandy Parispakujaga was saying in the timeout that you heard. You're right, they were attacking the gaps. But Sandy also says that this other part of that attack is that you, as a player without the ball, you have to show yourself to the passers so that you can, really exploit that defense.
And the key to one of the keys to beating a zone defense is continuous movement of the ball and of the players without the ball. And that's what Ateneo has shown so far in the fourth quarter.
Tolentino tries again, knocks it down again. And it's down to a 9-point lead. A ton of time to play here in the fourth.
The shoes on the other foot now, Boom. It's FEU shooting the lights out from beyond the arc, and we'll see if they can sustain it. They can maybe chip more significantly into this deficit.
That is their 10th triple of the game, talking about FEU. Humabol na sila dito. Nieto with their 12th three-point shot. Second here in the fourth quarter for him. And a big 12-point lead again. They have had the answers against these FEU runs. Top of the circle three. He gets it to go. Back at 12 with 3 minutes and some change left. So both teams now in penalty. 90 points for Ateneo. FEU with 78. We've had some good scoring games in general here in Season 80. And this is a good scoring weekend also so far. Even that second game yesterday.
Yes.
And Adamson against UST.
And really,
UP against UE.
Really a lot of exciting matchups we've seen so far in Season 80. Bodes well for the remaining games to see in the first round.
Right. We got a nice doubleheader on Wednesday, and we'll talk more about that a little later. First, let's get back to the action. One last ditch stand here for the Tamaraos.
And if you're FEU, the issue has not really been scoring the basketball, but keeping Ateneo from scoring on the other end of the floor.
Let me correct what I said earlier. 2 triples for Nieto in the fourth. I meant in the second half. All his points are actually 3-pointers also.
Yeah. So many guys are stepping up for the white shirts in this game as we see another shot from beyond the arc from Matt Nieto.
Not that time for him. Anton from way out. It's way off. Oh! And 30 climbing the ladder and sticking it back.
Wow.
And using the glass to deposit a twinner.
Man, look at the hops on 30.
Woo!
Hey, he could have dumped that too.
There was Hill's dunk yesterday. And the stick back by 30 today. Dennison. As we approach the 2-minute mark of our fourth quarter, our PS Bank last 2 minutes brought to you by PS Bank Mobile. They pay me, touch ID, and in-app OTP. Don't worry, folks. We're going to look at that sequence again a little later when we get that a dead ball situation. 30. Overshoots that one. The tap goes to Dennison with 1:40 remaining. FEU's got to get some buckets here. A pass unable to field it was Urizu. And Ateneo will slow it down here. Might have been the big stop that Ateneo needed.
And FEU just hasn't really been able to string any big runs here in the second half.
30 with an offensive rebound. They got a fresh 14, which is down to 8. Parker on 30. Gets the screen. 30, a couple of fakes. Tries to put space between him and Parker, and a rebound by Tolentino. And under a minute to play and a 10-point deficit for FEU.
But even if 30 didn't score, they cut down a lot of clock there. Yeah. And that's going to benefit the Blue Eagles as they hold on to a 10-point lead with under a minute to go.
9 rebounds for 30 Ravenna. And they're going to start fouling now. Freeze instant replay. Let's isolate 30 Ravenna on the other side of your screen.
And nobody boxing him out. His man was Jasper Parker. Just watching him, man. Look at the hops.
And he goes up with the elevator and goes up an extra floor.
Yeah.
Presses the extra button. And what I like about that is after that whole sequence is he gently kisses it off the glass. Now that's tough. You know, when you're jumping and you're running that momentum and you're jumping that high, and then all of a sudden with one hand, and so just gently finesses it off the glass. 94-82, got this time out. Tomorrow is the birthday of Miss Josie De Leon, from FEU, our Board of Managing Director. Happy birthday, ma'am. Tomorrow pa rin, pero ngayon, may handa na.
Happy birthday, ma'am.
At ang masakit, wala kami dyan.
Nako. Yun lang, boom, yun lang.
Camera lang ang aming presence. Happy birthday, ma'am. 94-82 is our score. 41 seconds remaining here in this game. Quick release by Kani. Cut short. And another rebound as 30 goes to double-double here in this game. And the rebound that probably secures this win.
And FEU just really has not been able to get into any rhythm after that early spurt of points for them in this game. They've played in Ateneo's pace. It's a slow down kind of game for both teams, and that favors Ateneo. Heading into this game, FEU was scoring around 21 fast break points per game. In this matchup, they've only had 6 so far.
They chase Nieto down, and that will be a turnover. But with 13 seconds left, FEU will go down to 1 and 2. Enzo and Ateneo will be right up there on top with an undefeated record.
Well, Ateneo, they will go on to secure this third win the start of the season. They're going to be solo first at 3-0, with LaSalle following them closely at 2-0. FEU will sink down to 1 and 2, right below UP, who's at 2-1, and the Bulldogs, who are at 1 win and 1 loss.
With a great bunch of games this weekend, yesterday and today. I'll give you the schedule for Wednesday as we shift to the Mall of Asia Arena. Down to 5 seconds, and Trinidad will miss another 3. And Ateneo will go up to 3-0, and FEU will go down to 1 and 2. And Coach Tab and Coach Olsen meet in the middle. Tough game for FEU from start to finish when Ateneo started shooting the lights out from 3 early on.
Well, Ateneo really shot the lights out in that first half, but in the second half, they were able to maintain that distance with their offensive rebounds and their defense.
Insular live 1 in a million performance by 30 Ravenna. 18 points and 11 rebounds for the leading scorer of Ateneo. We'll take a break and we'll be back to wrap this baby up. Of this match between Ateneo and FEU. Final score is 94-82, Ateneo winning by 12. Two cool and clean fast break. Aaron Black. Just one of the many highlights that we saw from both teams, actually. Ateneo ending up with a 12-point win, and they are our Olive Place winning team. 94 points, team that averaged 72 last year. Their average went up to 88.5 after 2 games, and now they scored 94. PS Bankable Player of the Game, brought to you by PS Bank Auto Loan. Isang tulog lang, may kotse ka na. 30 Ravenna, Enzo.
Man, 30 played a man's game today. 18 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, laced with 2 3-pointers as well. 3-point shooting set the tone for Ateneo, but it was 30s, rebounding and scoring, especially second chance points. It really iced the game in the last few minutes for the Blue Eagles.
A couple of rebounds were big, offensive and defensive, to close the door on the FEU Tamaraos. And obviously, he will also win the Gatorade Fierce player matchup. Ron Dennison with a great start in the first 2 games here in season 80. But the defenses of Ateneo clamping on Ron Dennison today, and 30 wins that matchup.
Well, the length of Ateneo and their discipline on defense just really enabled them to put the clamps on Dennison and find it very difficult for FEU to get into any long-term rhythm in this matchup today.
More post-game awards. Shelby Power Most Efficient Player. Well, it was Asistio today. Just really set the tone from the outside for Ateneo from the onset, and then in the second half continued shooting well.
Well, entering this game, Asistio was averaging 1 3-pointer per game. He hit 3 in this game, talking about double A, and he was just red hot. And like you said to him, he set the tone, he opened the floodgates as Ateneo built that big lead and maintained it up until the final buzzer.
Very high percentage too. 16 points, by the way. See, Anton Asistio. Well, we promised you that we were going to give you the schedule for Wednesday as we shift our attention to the Mall of Asia Arena, September 20. Growling Tigers, who are still looking for their first win, and the National U Bulldogs, who are looking to bounce back from that tough, painful loss against LaSalle in our first game. And then the 2 teams that met in last year's Final Four. Soaring Falcons, who were the surprise of season 79. Well, their gift for Wednesday is Ben Mbala coming back for DLSU on Wednesday.
Welcome back, Big Ben.
So that's going to be the matchup on Wednesday. Your final thoughts on this game, Enzo?
Well, Ateneo once again showing off great offense, both from outside and inside, and good rebounding to close out as FE was trying to mount a comeback in the second half.
They win the second game of our Sunday doubleheader, while UP wins the first one against the University of the East. For Enzo Flojo and Marty Bautista, Sid Crespo, and of course Paui Versosa, Direk Abet Ramos, and everybody from ABS-CBN Sports working the games today here at the Araneta Coliseum. I'm Boom Gonzalez, and we will see you on Wednesday for more hard-nosed, fast-paced action of the UAAP Season 80 here on SNA, courtesy of ABS-CBN Sports. Good night.